Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks so much for being with us on this Thursday morning, January 8th. Pleasure to be with you. Get your head right. It is Thursday. Today's going to be a good one. I can feel it in my bones. I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindel's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Ben Higgins, Chairman Ben, friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Chairman.
Good morning.
How are you?
I noticed last night the hair was starting to
leak.
Yeah,
Starting to mouth.
the hold on the product was starting to lessen, and the mouth sides were starting to emerge on television.
Smarmy Mal came out. I didn't catch you last night. I was slammed. I mean, just slammed from the minute we left here to the minute I went to bed last night. I did take your advice. You had, I have not been sleeping well. It's standard. But I've been waking up and looking at my sleep report every morning. 47 sleep score. You could use a lot more sleep today. Yeah, no kidding. But you actually had the really smart thought of maybe don't track your sleep and then have that be the first thing you see in the morning. It sets you up for failure. And I'm such a believer in, what you say is what you are, what you read. I'm influenced by things like that. And I think it was influencing me. So I did not track my sleep last night. I took my watch off, went to bed like normal, fell asleep, woke up at 1 on the nose, woke up at 2:41 on the nose, and then went back to sleep until 4. And not ideal, but I didn't wake up and look at the 47 sleep score. So I said, I feel pretty good.
You look like you got a solid 80, I think.
On the sleep
yeah,
score?
I'm going to give you an 80 just from looks now.
You're right, man. I think it would actually be better to have some of our technology lie to us. I really do. I think it would be better if it just straight up lied. You're great. You're in great shape for today. Today should be a good one. Oh, okay. Sounds good to me. Great. I don't feel good, but if you say so, then I'm in.
Step on the scale. Oh, wow, 214. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude. I think that's not a terrible idea. So I'm gonna follow your advice at camp as well. I did not follow my own advice and get off the phone the hour before bed last night. There's just too much going on. Started watching a new show on Hulu called Lowdown with Ethan Hawke, who I greatly admire, and
he's been having a bit of a renaissance.
He is just the most thoughtful, artistic dude out there. And I grew up kind of liking Ethan Hawke too when I was younger, and so he's fantastic. This show it's a bit of a grower. It doesn't snag you really off the bat, but it's good. It's good. I enjoyed it. I'm going to probably get through it when we're out at camp and we go to bed at 5:30.
I'm flattered that you actually took my advice.
Oh yeah, I took it to heart.
I'm not an advice giver generally,
but you're a good advice giver.
Well, I appreciate that. I try to think of all the potential ramifications of what I'm saying before I say anything to you. But my general philosophy is let other people live the way they want to live.
Sure.
And you're not, it's not your business to try to make them better. But you seem like you were just struggling with the sleep. And I thought immediately when you said, I got up and I looked at that 47 and just, you were already in a bad frame of mind the second you got up because you saw that. But I wondered, what would happen if he didn't see that? Would he be in the same bad frame of mind?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I still feel tired, right? But I always feel tired. That's just the way that it rolls. How was everyone's day yesterday?
Dude, I was just like you. I was all over town. I was busy. I was
Crazy.
running
I got a
around.
haircut.
I had so much to get done, and I got home. It was like I left here at 10:15. I didn't get home until 1:30.
Yeah.
Just running around, and then I start working a little bit. All of a sudden, it's 4 o'clock.
Yep.
You're like, I haven't even packed. I haven't done any laundry. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just running around, and then by the time, dude, head to pillow, I was asleep in 30 seconds.
That's nice.
Mine was hectic. I mean, as soon as I got home, I had to throw in some laundry so then I could start packing, which I did all the packing that I could. Jumped on the Peloton, ate some quick lunch, and then back to Channel 10, and I was anchoring all night. And then when I got home, I finished the laundry. It was that, I got it into the dryer before I left, but I didn't have time to fold or get the rest of it in. So then I finished my packing when I got home late last night. I was like 10, got to sleep not until 11:15. So, and then I got up this morning early in Peloton because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it and be on the car, driving all day, so I just wanted to get a little exercise in. So
Yeah,
I've been up for about 2 hours.
Good God, man. Well, listen, it's going to be a labor of love. Certainly, we're heading out to fantasy camp today. I am very excited about it. It's such a first of all, I'm so grateful that we get to go, and just like brimming with gratitude because it's just such a fun experience, and it does such wonders for my soul every time I go out there. And I love playing baseball. I love being in the dugout. All of it. I love all of it. I love the hot tub, the cold tub. I love all of it. I love having my own locker. It is just soul soothing for me. So very excited about that. We'll come back. We will have a couple weeks, and then we're off to spring training, man. I mean, really, like it's the baseball season is right around the corner. So very excited about what the day brings. Want to get out there safely to spring training today. It was hard. I had a hard time. The hardest time, I think, saying goodbye to my kids last night. It's always difficult, but for whatever reason, last night I was like, oh man. And of course, my wife, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's a week.
Does it get harder every year or less
Harder.
difficult? Because as they get older, like was it harder when they were young because they were new and you missed them so much?
Yeah, that
But
sucked.
now they're older, you can do more with them, so now you really miss them too.
Well, I also know how much more difficult they are to manage now, and walking away for 6 days or 6 nights, and of course, Bo was his eyes filled up with tears last night when I was tucking him in, and it's so hard to say goodbye. And then you look at your wife this morning, give her a big hug, and I'm like, so sorry, I'm so sorry. These are the sacrifices that I have to make, though, to go out and earn a living. I don't even believe my own line of BS. I really don't. I can't even buy my own.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do this thing, man.
When the kids are younger, you almost feel like you worry they're going to forget you when you're gone for a few days when they're really babies. Now, obviously, Bo and Taylor are not going to forget you in a week, so you don't worry about that. But now, yes, guilt is the emotion that you kind of feel.
Guilt is the emotion.
But it's mixed with also the excitement of getting to do something
that I love,
that you love, and is really, really fun.
Yeah, so that was a hard one last night. I had my interview last night, my Little League management interview.
Oh, that's right.
Yep, had that at 6 o'clock last night, and I got in there, and it was great. It was the board, the Encinitas Little League board, and I was sitting kind of in front of about 8 people, and they all had their pens.
Oh,
and
this is very official.
And they had their pens and their notes, and they started with basically they ripped through those questions that we talked about. A couple of them did listen yesterday morning and heard us talking about it in a more loose fashion, I'd say. But I thought it went well. I had met a couple of them. I don't have a general sense if I'm going to get the gig or not. I mean, I feel like I did a good job in there. They asked me, what's your experience in baseball? And I said, well, I've been playing for 40 years, almost nonstop, almost. I mean, save a couple years here and there, COVID, whatever. I've been playing for 40 years straight. I've coached 7 teams. I talk about baseball for a living. I love the game. Like that's should be understood. It's other than my wife and kids, it's my greatest love and passion on the planet. So they asked me how I would deal with the tough parents. And I said, I like to set expectations before the season, that if you wanted to coach, you should have signed up and don't scream at umpires. And, I said, knock on wood, I know it's coming. I said, but I've never had a problem with a parent yet. And I know it's coming. Of course it's coming. It happens to every coach. I'll deal with it. When I get to that bridge, I will cross that bridge. So that went pretty well.
Do you have any idea on how many other applicants for the job?
So I saw the list, and I don't know how many teams there were, but there are quite a few names on that list that they got to get through for minor B. There's quite a few, and I know some of them. The only thing that freaked me out a little bit, the assessments for the kids are this weekend. Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Ooh.
So I went through the list of kids that are playing, and I know 25% of the kids. I've seen them play. I know them. I've coached them. 75% I don't know who they are, Bo knows about 10% of those. Oh, no, he's good. I've seen him. He's athletic. He plays at school. Like, oh, I've played against him. He's good, right? I get a little info from him. The only thing that freaked me out a little bit was I said, because I did apologize. Guys, I will be out of town working this weekend. I will not be at the assessments. I will be at the makeups. And so will my son. And they said, oh, no problem. And the commissioner goes, we'll draft your team for you. And I go, oh, no. I'll be here for the draft. I'll be here for the draft. I would like to, if given the job, draft my own squad. I don't want these are the guys that you have. Now, that's how it's always been in rookies and T-ball. They give you your team, you get a couple of friends and things like that, but they give you your team. This is different. This is a draft. If I'm going to go down, I got to go down my way. Right? Is that too much of a demand to ask to draft your own team?
No, if all the other teams are getting to draft their team,
then I should be able to
draft yours.
That's the only thing that freaked me out.
I wonder if I was a board member, I'd be a little afraid not to give you the job at this point.
Oh, because you get blasted?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it an implied threat? You haven't overtly said anything.
No.
I mean, you said a couple of them were
listening to the show.
Couple of them were listening. They know. I just feel like we don't want to go down this road of not giving him the job, right?
Me, I would never. I have the utmost respect for the board.
Like one guy on the board is like super against Woods, and they're all just like, dude, you don't want that.
You don't want this,
like,
man.
Trust
me. You don't want this problem.
Just let this one go.
Or maybe because they listened to the show, they realized it would be so entertaining if we didn't give him the job and just
also good for the bit.
Stew.
Well, they did ask me. They asked me if I'm going to if I would be an assistant if I didn't get the gig. I said, of course I would. Of course, I have no problem. So anyway, I will not be at the assessments, which I'm really bummed about. Now, originally, it was set for next weekend. So I was going to be in the clear. I'd have fantasy camp, come home, assessments, draft, good to go. They moved it. They moved it up a week. And when I got that email, my heart sank. And Bo was like, so we don't get a team now. I go, no, we're going to get a team, but I'll be at the makeups. You'll go to the makeups with me, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Hank's got a good idea. Encinitas resident AJ Preller. Text him, see if he
will
go to the assessments and give you his scouting report for the draft.
The funniest thing that happened in the interview was one guy showed up a little bit late, so he had missed kind of my spiel. And he sat down. He goes, oh, yeah, thanks so much for coming in. He goes, oh, one quick question. He goes, what's your philosophy on bunting? And I started dying laughing. And then he was laughing, but the other board members don't listen to this show, and they didn't know what he was talking about. So I had to then answer it honestly and say, I'm not a fan of it. Right? And I said, look, there's a time and place. As I've always said, there's a time and place for bunting. I said, let's put it this way. When I played baseball when I was a kid, I was a really good bunter. You know why? Because I was scared to death. I want to get these kids in a mental position where they're not so scared of getting hit by a pitch that they bunt. And I said, I love to bunt because I was a bad hitter. I want to make good hitters and hungry hitters. I want these guys to go up there and ready to eat every time. 3-0, I don't care. Hack. You get a pitch to hit, hack. That's the mentality I want to instill in these kids. So I said, I'll be honest with the whole board. If I'm playing a game and an opposing coach lays 3 bunts down in a row because my third baseman doesn't look like he's a third baseman, I go, I'm going to have a problem with it. I go, I will have a beef with that coach. I said, I think that's Bush League, and I don't think there's there's room for it here. Now, the contrarian take to that is, hey, you don't like it, make a play. Fine, fair enough. And I will teach my kids to bunt. I will teach them to defend a bunt. But I will not be employing. If you play my team, we're not going to be bunting on you. That I promise you. So it was funny. And he goes, I was just joking. I was hoping you would have worn your T-shirt. And I go, no, I'm not that dumb. But it went well.
Good.
It was nice. But there was some news. There was some news yesterday that came out, San Diego local news, that I think it's important we address. Jerry Cisak from Jeff and Jer. Passed away yesterday at 74 years old. I believe that it did come as a bit of a surprise. I read some really poignant, beautiful words from his wife, and that was really sweet. I mean, just as sweet as can be. And I didn't know him. He's one of the radio legends in town that I never crossed paths with. Now, I know Little Tommy, who is his producer. I know Emily Griffiths, who works on another show now across the street, who I'm friends with her. I know Laura Kane, who was on Jeff and Jer, but I never met Jeff and I never met Jer. But when I got to town 15 years ago, it was like, hey, man, DSC and Jeff and Jer.
It was like
that's it.
Letterman or Leno.
That's it.
You can't go wrong, but you just kind of rolled with one or the other. It was a particular style of show, humor, whatever and they were both just phenomenally successful in town.
Yes.
I was more like you. I knew Dave Shelley and Chainsaw, listened to them. We've had Dave come in. I never met Jeff or Jer either. And I feel bad about that, being in TV and radio now for 30 years, but they were always in the KFMB kind of Channel 8 building, and I was at Channel 10. So just paths never crossed, but that doesn't mean that I don't understand how many people would listen to him. And even when I was in high school, like people driving to high school, Torrey Pines, when I was going, often we're listening to Jeff and Jer in the mornings. That's how long of a legacy they had in this town.
Yeah, no question about it, man. So I did see some tributes pouring in for him yesterday. Look, anybody that has been able to come in the morning, turn the microphone on, and entertain a city, I have great respect for. Great respect for. And
to do it at that level,
for that
long,
the way, the success that they had, and the longevity that they had. And I read a quote from him yesterday, and I went, "Yep, I get it." He was talking about the show's chemistry, and he said, you really, something to the effect of, you know it when you feel it. You can't win without it, and that's what made us successful, was our chemistry. And I went, yep, I can absolutely relate. That's the thing that I think makes this show go as well, is the chemistry between the three of us. And, I felt terrible, man. So I wanted to do it, to let everybody know, if you hadn't heard the news, and you know how we do it on this program.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Jerry Cisak.
It's fun to know that he would appreciate being honored on the radio with a bit.
Because they loved bits.
Yeah.
They absolutely loved bits. 100%.
And by the way, he was also a big animal
Huge.
activist, and he said, and our former boss, Bob Ballinger, who knew him and wrote about him, said, in lieu of flowers or anything, if you want to make a donation to the Rancho Coastal Humane Society, that would be a great honor for Jer, because that's what his real passion was animals and making sure they had homes and were well taken care of.
Well, let's make sure we do that today from Ben and Woods. Tip our hat certainly to those guys, and yeah, again, pioneers and trailblazers in this industry. Now we get to come in and try to do, the same thing every day. I just always appreciate anybody that has had that ability and that the effort that it takes to do it. So yeah, saw that yesterday, and wanted to make sure that we gave him a shout out to his family today. And I know San Diego, a lot of people mourning his loss. Certainly.
We've been blessed in this town with some really incredible talents, especially in the morning.
I heard a long time ago when I got here that the great talent stays here because, it's here. And yes, there are bigger markets where you can make a lot more money, a lot more money. Some guys have come and they've gone, but the ones that have stayed because they loved San Diego. And I said, yeah, I can 100% relate to that. I have not been courted by massive stations in New York or LA or anything like that. But once I landed here, I was like, this is it. If I get to do this for a while here, that's a really, really important thing. So Dave, Shelley and Chainsaw, Jeff and Jer, you can rest assured those guys' phones were ringing off the hook every contract year of like, you guys want to come to Milwaukee, or you want to come to Chicago or whatever. And when they got here, they decided, no, this is where we want to be. So anyway,
how long officially was their show on the air in San Diego? Do we know?
25?
More.
More?
I think.
I thought
I think
much
it's
more than
35, maybe to 40 years.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Absolutely.
Is that
when I was
right?
kids, I don't think they retired until about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And
they retired, I think, in 14
Jeff
or
retired,
15.
and then they continued for a while. Now, I was always on at the same time. I've always been in mornings. I've never done another
all I
show.
remember is like when I was in high
88.
school, they weren't a new show. So it
19
started in 88.
88.
That's 30.
I don't know.
About 30,
27 years.
27 years.
Yeah. What did you guys? 40
What?
years?
88.
88.
I was born in 90 and I'm 35.
Yeah. So
They were
Yeah.
on the air in San Diego for 27
Okay.
years, starting
Got
in
it.
88. So they've been around,
Got it.
but just in San Diego. But yeah, they were inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame. So yeah, that's really, really sad.
and the one thing that I think we can appreciate, the three of us, is the dedication and consistency of
Yeah.
being in the mornings for that long, getting up, in good spirits almost every day.
Yep.
You just got to put on that bright face, that early in the morning and doing it for that many years. Absolute tip of the cap.
Yep, 100%. Shout out to his family and rest in peace. Jer.
All right, we will set the menu for the program today. If you were listening yesterday, things are going to get a little different about midway through the program today. In fact, we actually have made a few changes to our regular schedule.
I saw this.
We'll explain what's going on, but the upshot is we're going to have a very early game of Real or Fake coming up. I'll explain why in just a moment as we get started here on a Thursday, the Thursday that we all head out to Fantasy Camp in Peoria, Arizona with Ben Woods and Paul. Get our first check of traffic with Kelly Danick. Starting things out on a Thursday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open. Hey player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy.
All guests of Son Bennett Woods appear on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Now, we challenged you yesterday. Actually, we challenged Adam, who's going to be jumping on the Ben and Woods program today at 8 a.m. as Paulie and I split for fantasy camp at 8. We challenged Adam, who was a producer in radio. He worked at the mothership ESPN. He's very well connected, and he's very short. And he also said, he's got a huge Rolodex in his Android phone that messes up our group chat all the time.
It's not a tall Rolodex,
No.
but it is a big Rolodex for sure.
So we challenged him to find a guest for us. And I said, just book Ben somebody, kill some clock. And he goes, fine, I hate booking guests. All right, I don't care. Just find one, right? And, well, it's on the rundown here at 8:35. It says Adam's special guest. Do you know who it is?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
Okay. Do I want to know who it is?
Don't worry about it. You're fine.
Don't worry
I'm excited about it. I'm
Well, now
excited
I am
about
nervous.
it.
But you don't need to worry
it.
about it.
Don't worry about it.
I will tell you.
Are you
it's-
gonna like tease it at 8:01 when we leave, or
Or you just
Yeah, probably. I'll probably talk about it with Adam at 8:00 when he gets there, and we can discuss our guest coming up at 8:35.
Purple said it kind of defeats the purpose of the secret guest if Ben knows. Now I feel like it's just a secret from
It's
me
just
and
a
Paul.
secret from you. Yeah, you don't need to know. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, we're the ones that assigned Adam.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, in an incredible stroke of luck, there was some giant Atlanta Hawks news yesterday, which
Yeah, Trey Young got traded.
You guys
So
should get
true.
a Atlanta
It's
beat
not,
writer.
an Atlanta Hawks beat writer. I can
Okay,
tell you that. It's
thank
not
God.
an Atlanta Hawks beat
God.
writer.
It's Adam's buddy from high school who follows,
Yeah.
watches the Hawks.
But I'm actually intrigued by the person we'll be talking to at 8:35, but I'll just leave it as a surprise.
It's not Dave Roberts, is it?
It's not Dave Roberts.
Okay.
I don't know if Dave's in Adam's Rolodex or not.
He's in yours.
He's
I
in
know
mine.
that.
He's
Yeah.
in mine, but I didn't book the guest. Adam booked our guest.
Yeah, he's in
Coming
yours.
up at 8:35 this morning.
Okay.
Maybe
Coming up.
what if he goes like full Howard Stern? Adam does, and does the reverse bit from Howard Stern. He calls Hannah and interviews her on the radio while we're on the road.
Oh,
You're
I
like,
would love it.
You're like, Adam, you ruined the sanctity of my marriage.
You have ruined the sanctity of my home. I would love that, actually. That would make me very excited. Very excited.
But before that, we will still have the three of us together for the first couple of hours. Didn't want to wait on Real or Fake, so we're actually going to do it here in about 10 minutes. I'll let you know. But opportunity to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas shortly. It's 7 o'clock. Paulie's bringing some audio to the table. He had some production work for our Voice of God.
Oh,
And it's been a while since we've had one of these clips, but Paulie said he had some trouble with one of, I guess it's some Adam copy that he sent him.
A
yeah.
meltdown.
So Adam will write up copy
Yeah.
for the voice guy.
Yeah,
who
we
will-
need that for a promo or something.
promos, game promos, stuff like that. He will then record it, and then he sends me the audio file, and then I put it all together. So I had to kind of go through this, and I'm like, this was it took 2 minutes for him to get a 15-second liner in, and I go, is this his fault or is this Adam's fault? Is this BS copy? So I'll let you guys be the judge at 7 o'clock.
And then when we usually play Real or Fake at 8:20, we're going to give away some SDSU basketball tickets for Saturday night's blackout game at Viejas Arena against Fresno State. They want all the fans to wear black as the Aztecs try to improve to 5-0 to start Mountain West Conference play. Klug is going to put together a Klug report in our 9 o'clock hour.
Sure,
and
the
then
Trey Young trade will be discussed
probably
at length
at some
there.
point. We also have a football threesome looking ahead to the NFL playoff games. We'll talk about the college football playoffs begin tonight, of course,
Man,
with Miami against Ole Miss in the first of the two semifinals with Oregon, Indiana tomorrow. So lots of football starting tonight.
now where are we watching the game together? Are we gonna what are we doing tonight?
So I did make dinner reservations for us tonight.
Okay.
For the three of us, Major Garrett and his producer.
His producer's name's Arden.
Arden, right. We're on a text thread with him. Have not met Arden yet, but
a great name,
hopefully everybody
Arden.
arrives safely and on time.
Are they there? I'm not gonna ask. Never mind. I was
Okay.
gonna say, are they flying?
Yes,
The
they're
answer
flying.
is yes. No, they're driving from DC, you buffoon. Yeah, they left 3 days ago.
They're currently in West Texas somewhere.
Stupid idiot. Just a stupid idiot.
Yes, they're flying. Hopefully there are no travel and weather delays, and we'll all make it in time for dinner. Probably have the game on televisions, and then after
What time's dinner?
dinner's at 7 Mountain.
So midnight. midnight.
Pacific. It's not that bad.
You know how
You-
you know how sleepy I get when I get out there.
You won't have adjusted yet. I know if I tried to schedule a 7:00 dinner like next Tuesday, you'd be dead. But
Dead.
I thought tonight you might be able to do it. I think they're not getting in until like 5, so I want to make sure I had time to get all the way across the valley from the airport and everything. So
And where are we eating?
we're going back to the Ferris wheel of meatballs at the Sicilian Butcher. Remember?
Do they have a healthy option there?
Of course.
Okay.
No, not
No.
really. It's Italian.
Sucking down meatballs.
Yes,
I'm excited to
exactly.
suck down meatballs. Now, we want to be able to watch that game too, right? And that game's at 5:30. It's going to be one of those like you watch a little bit at home.
5:30 Mountain, 4:30 here in San Diego.
Watch a little bit at home.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have it on in the restaurant.
I would think they will.
Okay.
I remember they had some TVs.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited. I love the playoffs. My team's not in it, but I'm still excited to watch. Who are you guys rooting for tonight? What's your rooting interest?
My pick is Miami. I just the physicality I think that we saw against Ohio State,
I think we're on the same page here.
but the kind of the sentimental choice is Ole Miss.
It's got to be, right? It's got to be Ole Miss for the sentimental. No one thought they would beat Georgia. They were 10.5-point dogs, something like that, with a new coach. And I just have fallen in love with their new coach.
It's so weird. I'm the exact opposite, and I know it's like contrarian. Like I don't. It's the way I feel. I was so turned off by the whole Lane Kiffin thing. It kind of
He's gone.
I know he left, and everyone else should be rallying. Everyone's rallying around Ole Miss, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I was so turned off by Lane Kiffin and all of that it made me just turned off by the school in general. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Pete Golding.
I love him.
Yeah, I mean it's a good story.
I love that guy. It's hard not to root for that guy. And they did say that Charlie Weiss Jr. will stay. Kevin Smith, who was originally reported to be going, he's also staying
Oh, okay.
to help. Both of these guys will eventually split for LSU. Could be tomorrow morning, or it could be
Another week,
another
until
couple weeks or
until the
whatever.
championship game. So
That's exactly right. But I like this coach. I like all the players' responses to him, and they have rallied around him. I hope it's a good game. I don't like Miami. I don't like them. I never have. But I have to respect just how good they are as a football team, man. They are nasty. They're one of the nastiest teams I've ever seen.
I heard the point made that who would have ever thought in college football that the Final Four teams would be Indiana, Oregon,
Yeah,
Ole Miss, and Miami.
it's great.
No Alabama, no Ohio State,
Yep,
no
it's
LSU, no
great.
Michigan, no Clemson. What happened? It's a great sign that there's a lot of parity, but at the same time, thinking about it, essentially, if this was the NCAA basketball tournament, this would be a bunch two seeds instead
Bunch
of
of
one
two
seed.
seeds, which is not terrible.
It's not like we've got Cinderellas
Yeah.
coming out of nowhere
yeah. Good point.
to reach the college football semifinals. These are still major programs.
It's not Bethune Cookman
from
or something,
major
right?
conferences.
Yeah.
That
Bethune.
Florida Atlantic, Butler. These you don't get those kind of stories, and you will never get those kind of stories in college football. But it's nice to see a couple of different schools
Yeah,
playing for a title this time around.
Look, I don't know that the Padres are going to be in the World Series next year, but I sure hope it's not the Dodgers for multiple reasons. But the main reason is it's been the last two.
Fresh blood.
If you want some fresh blood in there.
Speaking of the Padres, they dropped a little bit of news yesterday, and wasn't surprised, but some people may have been, that the team has already sold out all of their season ticket memberships for 2026, more than they've ever sold before. They opened a few more seats for season ticket members, and those are now sold out. So you can get onto that the wait list. What do they call it? The on deck wait list, and you can still buy some single game tickets. Those will go on sale February 3rd. If you're on the wait list, you can get early access in late January to those single game tickets. But once again, for the fourth straight year, Padres have sold out all their season tickets. So the passion for Padres baseball not diminishing in the slightest going forward, despite the season ending in the disappointment of the wild card round last year.
You know what a great thing that the Padres could do to say thank you, San Diego, for selling out all of our season tickets. Go get Ranger Suarez. How about that? Wouldn't that be a good little gift for all of us to have and say, hey, we appreciate you, San Diego. Here's Ranger Suarez. He's going to be working with Ruben Niebla for the next few years, and let's get that done. That would be incredible. That would make me the happiest clam on the planet. I
I'm
I
not
love him.
expecting it.
I'm not
but-
expecting it either.
But there are still pitchers out there. He is Framber Valdez is probably the biggest one. He's probably the second biggest pitcher available. Would be funny if they lose Robert Suarez and bring in Ranger Suarez.
And by funny,
as
you
a
mean
free agent.
it would be awesome.
Yeah, it
It'd
would
be
be
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Let's see. Satan's Blowfish asks, has the show had the annual, I canceled my membership because this team isn't serious? I haven't seen that yet.
Not yet.
I haven't seen that yet.
We haven't taken any calls yet in the new year.
That's true.
So maybe.
I have not seen that yet.
If
And then
anybody did, well, your membership got taken by someone else.
somebody was there
So,
waiting, so
yeah.
it's no skin off their back.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
MM McKee says, will you guys be broadcasting at FanFest again? Absolutely, we will be broadcasting at FanFest
we
again.
were told 10 a.m. is our slot, so right when it starts.
10 to
first,
noon.
First wave. You'll have Ben and Woods January 31st live from Padres Fan Fest. There are still tickets left, but you do have to claim them. It's free, but you need a ticket. So
Yep.
you need to go online and claim your up to 4 free tickets for Fan Fest. But
I
if you're
expect
trying to decide between the early or the later window, we'll be there during the early window
Yeah.
at 10 a.m.
Let's see if we can put some asses in the seats out there.
One other brief Padres note, and I could not find anything. Someone in our chat at the end of the program
I
yesterday
saw this too.
had said, "Oh, I'm hearing some rumblings about Luis Arise possibly signing a deal." I started Googling
You
and trying
obsessed
to
on it.
find everything for the next. I could not find anything at all about Luis Arise. In fact, the only thing written recently about Luis Arise was by Buster Olney in a kind of one of those ESPN catch-all pieces with a bunch of their writers, saying that Luis Arise is not drawing much interest right now, but from teams in the free agent market. And what he and his agent are really looking for is kind of an old school GM, front office, or manager who really wants to. No, I need a guy like a contact guy, an average guy like Luis Arise, because most front offices look at his numbers and they look at the OBP and they look at the lack of slug and they look at the defensive, not liability, but not necessarily anything extra that he provides defensively, base running, whatever. And they go, we're not spending money on this guy. And there hasn't been a lot of smoke when it comes to Luis Arise so far this offseason. I can't say I'm entirely surprised. My question for you, though, Paul and Woods, is if that is really true and the soft market for Luis Arise keeps driving his price down, at
No.
what point do the Padres
No.
get back into the conversation? Because they do need a first baseman.
They do, and it's not a personal thing at all with Luis Arise. I know he had a bad year last year by his standards. I do. I think he was deployed improperly.
Mm-hmm.
We've had many discussions about it. Everybody did, but I mean, I can't see laying out the deal I saw yesterday. It was him to the Guardians for like 2 years for $20 million.
That's right, the Guardians.
Guardians.
But I didn't see anything else about that.
I
the
didn't
rest
see
of the
anything
day.
either. I
10
didn't
a
see.
year.
Yeah, I didn't see any rumors or anything like that.
I mean, I cut you off, Ben. I apologize. Like, how low would it go in your mind?
I don't
for
know,
those conversations.
If they're talking about 10 now and he hasn't signed yet, I mean,
Seven, yeah.
8 or 9. I mean, something in single digits per
Yeah.
year.
I'm probably in like the 5 category, like 5 a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you get him for that, yeah,
Done.
I'm good.
I just don't think he would sign it. I just
I
don't,
don't
think,
think
he
so.
would.
I mean, he's not going to not play.
Right.
At some point, he's got to take the best offer that's available. And if
Purple
it's
says one year, $4 million. All right, deal done. I'll do Luis Arise on a prove it deal
Yeah.
any day of the week.
Yeah.
He wants to bet on himself.
100% on a prove it deal, and you hit him in the 7 hole. You're
that
feeling
sounds
good.
insultingly low for a 3-time batting champion, because it is. At the same time, what, you're not going to play baseball for $4 million?
Right.
If that's
What
the
did he
best
make
offer
last
you've
year?
got.
He made
You mean 14
14, I
on
thought,
arbitration?
Yep.
Most guys do not take giant pay cuts when you've won 3 batting titles, but it seems like Luis Arise is going to have to take a fairly significant average annual value pay cut.
Yep.
In whatever deal he's going to be signing this offseason.
Yeah, so again, that was something that said in the chat. We didn't run with it because we couldn't verify it at all. And again, I really have not seen one whisper about him at all this offseason. I've not seen one team like kicking the tires on Luis Arise. The deal for Edward Cabrera did get completed yesterday. I think it's a great deal. Actually, I think it's a great deal for both clubs. The Chicago Cubs sent Owen Casey, who was a former Padres prospect and a good one.
You Darvish trade.
Yep. And minor league, he's an outfielder, and minor league infielders Christian Hernandez and Edgardo De Leon. But Cabrera, he has those flashes of brilliance, and he's going to join a rotation now in Chicago, Ben, that projects to be pretty nasty. Cade Horton coming back, Matthew Boyd, Jamison Tyone, Shota Imanaga. Colin Ray is still on that team in a long relief role, but adding Cabrera to that mix is pretty solid. And again, yeah, you gave away a good outfield prospect in Owen Casey, but okay, fine. You got to give something to get something. They got control of Cabrera for a couple of years at a dirt cheap price. I thought it was a savvy move by the Chicago Cubs.
I talked to my Cubs fan friend at Channel 10.
Justin Steele will be coming back.
That's right,
in the
healthy.
first half.
So,
I mean,
I said you've got to love your pitching staff. He does, but he says I liked Owen Casey, and they still need to do something with the lineup.
Yeah.
If you're the Cubs,
because
which they
you're
could,
going to lose Kyle Tucker. You know,
unless you find a way to sign him, which
Right.
doesn't look like they're heading down that direction. He goes, yeah, the rotation's solid, but our lineup is not. So,
and the crazy thing is too, is I'm reading right now, like Miami, they've just traded Cabrera, but their rotation is still Sandy Alcantara, Yuri Perez, Ryan Weathers, Braxton Garrett in the top four, and they got a couple of guys that they're looking to fill in the five. Robbie Snelling, potentially former Padre, is mentioned as a guy that may make his debut this year. So they've done a decent job in collecting really good prospects. We saw that what Jacob Marcy was able to do for them last year. They're expecting him to grow. Like the Marlins are going to be a team. You're like, God, these guys are pesky and they can pitch. Which is kind of what they were last year. And so I thought it was a really good move for both teams. And you know, AJ
I thought they
Preller
might have been able to get a little more for Cabrera.
I did too, but you know, I think they're happy with Casey, and I think they have a pretty decent outfield of the future down there in Miami. So I think they're making some smart moves, smart decisions. But yeah, man, like if you're a Cubs fan, I think you're happy. And if you're a Marlins fan, you're like, cool. Like it hurts to lose them, but you know, we got 3 prospects back, and we'll ride.
All right, we're going to play a little early game of Real or Fake. If you'd like to be our contestant, call right now, 833-288-0973. You can qualify for the trip to Las Vegas to see Sammy Hagar. Dial now, 833-288-0973. I did not want Woods, a special game of Real or Fake, to miss this one. So
nice.
Since you're leaving at 8, we're going to do it coming up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Getting a little busier on our roads here. Traveling on South 163 just past Washington Street. There's an accident over to the right shoulder, partially in that right lane. Also, South 5 coastline just before Carmel Valley Road. Looks like a large piece of concrete in the roadway may have touched off this solo vehicle accident, blocking the HOV lane, and an accident occurring on westbound 78 before Los Posas. That's still in the center divide. New year, new goals. Start with your car at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. A fast oil change and essential maintenance checks help keep you moving into the new year. Check it off your list. Visit SoCalOilChange.com. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Ready when you are. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Real or Fake, brought to you by Bay Alarms, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and let's see, we got Bill. Are you there today?
Yes, I am.
All right, Bill.
Hi,
Good
Bill.
news. You are our contestant for Real or Fake, and if you can get 4 out of 7 right, you will qualify for the trip for 2 to Las Vegas to see Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM, the 2-night stay at Park MGM, and a $100 gas card. Get your tickets for Sammy Hagar at Ticketmaster.com. Now, the bad news is I can't allow Woods to help you because
At all?
Well, I think you know all the answers, so that would just be a giveaway. So you're going to have to guess on your own. Because today's category, Bill, is about one of Woods' favorite artists. The subject of today's game is Morrissey.
You SOB.
No, I mean,
just twist the
Oh,
knife.
my
not
God.
twisting the
Just twist the knife.
He may have canceled
Oh.
his concert, but Morrissey can't stop our game. And in honor of his new album, you're right, it's time.
Oh my god!
I have a list of Morrissey solo albums. I will give you a name. You tell me if it's a real Morrissey solo album
Oh, these-
or a fake that I have made up.
How many albums
to
would you
fool you.
guess he has?
He's got a lot.
so many.
A lot, right?
They have some
So-
strange names.
He does have some really odd names.
All right, Bill. So it's up to you. Let's get going. Round number 1, real or fake?
Monster. You're a monster.
World peace is none of your business. Real or fake Morrissey album, Bill?
I'm going to say real.
Real.
You are right.
You know it. It is right. It is 1. We are 1 out of 4 on the way to a victory. All right, here we go. Round number 2. Epsom Downs. Real or fake Morrissey album? Epsom Downs.
Well, since I don't know what that means, I'm going to say it's real.
No, it's fake. That's all right.
Like
That's
like
Oh, well.
Epsom salt.
yeah, it's a place in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Epsom Downs.
it's actually a horse racing track in England.
Okay.
I just
Epsom
thought-
Downs.
I don't know. It just sounded like it. I just threw that one in there. All right, let's go. Round number 3. I am not a dog on a chain. Real or fake Morrissey album?
Sure, real.
Yes.
It is real. All right, you are halfway
save,
there.
Save Ben saying, I am not a dog on a chain.
All right, let's try round number 4. Kill Uncle. Real or fake Morrissey album, Bill? Kill Uncle.
I'll say real.
Yeah, buddy.
You cheater.
Do it.
All right.
Turn
That's
your mic
correct.
off.
All right, you are 1 away from victory.
Come on.
All right, let's go round number 5. Southpaw Grammar. Real or fake Morrissey album, Bill? Southpaw Grammar.
Can I ask you one question about that?
Sure.
Is he left-handed?
I don't know if Morrissey's left-handed. I feel like he might be.
Okay, and then I'm going to say it's real.
Yes,
Really?
it is, sir.
Baseball player? Southpaw.
Southpaw Grammar.
I've never heard Southpaw used anywhere other than baseball.
Great record.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Bill, congratulations.
Excellent work,
Without any
Bill.
help from Woods, other than a little yes in the background, you have qualified for the trip to Las Vegas. Congratulations. Paul, will get your information because we have hit the top of the first hour.
What are
In
the
fact,
other ones?
We have Pain of the Spirit.
Fake.
Correct. Sermon in Black.
Fake.
Yeah, very good.
Thank
I knew you knew them all. I knew you knew them all.
Boy, it
All
would have been fun to see him in concert, or at least get compensated for
you
not
guys
going
are
to
already
see him.
halfway
We're
done,
halfway home.
if you can believe that.
Wow.
We'll come back with Paulie's audio from our Voice of God coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Hour number 2, Ben and Woods on a Thursday morning here on 97.3 The Fan. You're the driver today?
Yeah.
Out to Arizona?
Yeah.
Paulie's the passenger?
Paulie's the passenger.
Okay. You have your plan of attack?
I don't.
Stopping in El Centro,
Eight
Yuma,
East.
Gila Bend. Any ideas?
I brought snacks.
I'm down to keep the stops to a minimum.
Me too. I brought snacks. I brought some trail mix, and I brought some beef jerky, which is going to smell amazing in the car. Who doesn't like somebody eating some teriyaki beef jerky next to them, Paulie, while they're driving in a enclosed space? My wife brings it on the plane, and I look at her. I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? Why don't you just bring a big bowl of chili on here as well?" No one wants to smell your teriyaki beef jerky on the plane, but yet I'm going to do it to Paulie. I'm only affecting one guy as opposed to, a dozen or so people around you.
I'm not saying that
Thanks,
I
by the
don't
way.
like
You're welcome.
beef jerky.
I love
beef
beef
jerky's
jerky.
fine. I enjoy beef jerky, but I'm not a beef jerky person. Do you know beef jerky people?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like-
no. It's not just beef. It's jerky people.
Jerky people.
They like salmon jerky. They like venison jerky. They like bison jerky. Any kind of jerky. Like, oh, I got all this new jerky. And they're way into jerky. I'll
Yes.
eat it in a pinch for some nice protein.
And they'll argue why it's it's great. It's all protein. What a great snack.
Yep.
It's not too high in calorie. It's just what I need. A little energy, but not too high in carbs. And they're very passionate about the jerky.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have the jerky passion. I will eat
I'll
some
eat it.
teriyaki beef jerky
I'll
every
eat it.
once in a while.
My
but I'm not a jerky person.
my mom works for a guy that has a jerky company, and it's like tenderloin, but it's not jerky, it's meat sticks.
Hmm.
And I haven't been able to come around on the meat stick quite yet. I tried one that she sent me, and the flavor is amazing, but it leaves this film and residue in your mouth, so
A
you
what?
talk like this after it's over.
I broke my back.
Mike, would you like a beef jerky stick?
Spinal.
It's
Yeah.
a Slim Jim.
It's not a Slim Jim. It's
Essentially.
way fancy.
Well, yeah, it's a gourmet Slim Jim.
But you eat it and you're
Kind
like,
of.
you bite into it, you're like, this is amazing. It
Yeah.
tastes so good. And then you finish, you're like, it's like somebody poured like silicone in your mouth. You're like, this doesn't feel, I've eaten a tenderloin before and I don't feel this. So there's something in here that's unnatural with this. And my wife will get those chompers, they're
Yeah.
like called chompers, and she'll just work that meat stick. My wife works a meat stick like nobody else's business. She's like the meat stick master. My wife Hannah works it. Just down the hatch.
It's a convenient on-the-go snack.
No problem at all.
High protein.
Yeah. I had to go pick up some for her last night after my manager's meeting. Make sure you get to be some chompers before you leave. Okay, chomps.
They have an unbelievable selection of jerky and sticks at Costco.
Do they?
Oh, an entire aisle of maybe
so
like
much.
15 or 20 different like large format options of jerkies and beef
I
sticks.
still haven't incorporated Costco.
I know you
into-
haven't.
I'm getting there though, because we have this trip, and when I get back, I'm really going to incorporate it. Paul's wife was texting me Costco tips over the break. She's very excited about me getting into Costco, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna really employ it in 2026. But so I got snacks.
I get
Paulie.
a ton of Costco use, and it's just me and my wife. Like
Yeah.
you with a family of 4.
It's a no-brainer.
It's I can't believe it's taking you this long.
I know. It's typical me. I've also brought. Let's see. Here's what I have for us, Paulie. I've got Jack Link's teriyaki beef jerky. Okay,
I'm still unsure about a food that requires that little pack of whatever
it's the silica.
silica.
Yeah.
pack
Maybe it
goes
keeps
in
the film
I
off
don't
of your
know
mouth.
what it does. I really don't.
And then I've got some Kind bars for Paulie and I, caramel almond and sea salt. And then Paulie, I got us some signature mountain trail mix. So we're gonna have some healthy options in the car. And I have a banana, that's from me. And we'll see what we can do.
And if your car breaks down and you end up having to walk, you've got good trail snacks.
Trail snacks and carbo loaded were really, really good. So yeah, we don't have a plan of attack yet. And I did think to myself this morning, I was filling up my water. I thought maybe you would just, you don't make Paulie drive, but you ask maybe, hey, do you want to take a shift today? But I don't think I like riding shotgun in my own car. I just don't. I don't think I do. I think I need to control it.
I've driven your car back without you. Like just
Yeah,
I've taken your car
remember
back
that.
before.
I
And
rode with
I've
Ben.
driven both of you geriatrics when you fell asleep for like an hour
That's true.
in the desert.
I was so sick, sitting in the back seat. It's the best video we've ever taken.
You know I don't mind driving, but I'm the same. I don't ever ask because I'm the same way. Like it's your car. You want to drive.
Yeah, and I feel like if I drive, I get to control the audio and
You're
everything
sick
else.
or you're like exhausted or anything.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Okay, all right.
It's only 5 hours. I think we'll be okay.
And you're driving out solo,
I am.
which you like.
I do.
All right, question.
Yeah.
Are you going to raw dog this drive?
I don't have any listening plans at the moment, so I may, at least portions of the drive.
Okay, you will just turn everything
Yeah,
off and
and
just vibe out.
To
Are
the
you?
desert scenery.
Don't you get worried that you'll fall asleep if you're raw dogging?
No.
Maybe the lull of PGA Tour radio will actually put you to
yes,
sleep.
it actually the sounds can make me more relaxed.
And here
but-
he is on 7. He's pulled what looks like a 7-iron.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no golf.
There's no
tournament,
golf,
or
yeah.
I would probably be listening to it. No, it's right now. It's basketball season, which brings us to Paulie's gem of audio that he got for us yesterday. And I don't think Woods has heard any of this yet. I heard a little bit before the show, but we had some production work that you needed to put together for our newest partner here at 97.3 The Fan, the UC San Diego Tritons. I mentioned it earlier this week. You can catch now Tritons basketball, certain games here on 97.3 The Fan. But of course, that means we need to promote the UCSD Tritons, Paulie.
Yes, we do. I had to make a few promos. You know, hey, the Tritons are on 97.3 The Fan. Make sure you listen to all the games right here. And so Adam sent over some copy, and he sent him 5 different pieces of copy for
Okay.
5 different liners. They're supposed to be 15 seconds long.
It's tough to get 15 in there sometimes. Quick, you know.
My ideal situation would be like 13 seconds of voice copy for that, so I can have a little
Need a
room
little-
to play with.
Little room, wiggle room.
This is the lengthiest of the 5 promos for sure. So there's a lot of words, and he's got to cram it all in. So he's moving fast. Our voice guy is. But I, you tell me if he should just be able to do this, or if perhaps Adam's copy wasn't great.
All right, so who's to blame? It's
Who's to blame?
Adam or Voice of God?
Live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of the UCSD Hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance. What? We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD Hoops, fresh off of their NC. Hello. What the hell? Again, live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD Hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance last season. That is a sentence to kill. Well, imagine if I couldn't breathe. Live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD Hoops, fresh off. Live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD Hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance last season. The UCSD Tritons play here on 97.3 The Fan. Again, live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD Hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance.
Oh my God, he's dying.
Live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD Hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance last season. The UCSD Tritons play here on 97.3 The Fan.
Finally, he
That's
nailed
all you're
that.
getting on that one, which is more than enough, I would say.
That's a 5. That's 5 takes to get that in. That sentence did.
That's a long ass sentence.
All right, Ben, you do this for a living.
Why does he? What's the there's a comma in there somewhere, like fresh off their NCAA tournament appearance.
When I'm looking back at the copy, like the actual document that we sent
That
him,
we sent him,
that Adam sent him, I didn't do this. Live and local college basketball can now be heard on 97.3 The Fan. Good. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD hoops. I would probably have just stopped it there, to be honest. He continues. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance last season. The UCSD,
I think last season you don't
that's
need.
poor sentence construction.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think so too.
And then it ends with the UCSD Tritson play here on 97.3 The Fan.
Spelling error.
Had he said Tritson, it would have been the most elite copy.
Well, he's had trouble in the past. I mean, we had him we had to sponsor. We had something sponsored by Hamul Casino.
Jamul.
Jamul.
One of my favorite drops of all time. Jamul.
This one wasn't a tough word to say. He just, for whatever reason, Eno Saris's name is Eno Harris. He can't. It happened one time. He said it with an H, and he
couldn't get it.
All right, for the Fan in San Diego. Here we go. Couple of takes. It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Harris. Saris, son of a bitch.
Incredible.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Harris. That up, didn't I?
He talks like that to his wife and kids, right? When he's scolding his children, he's in deep radio voice like this.
I don't know, but he has another voice.
They're like, Dad, enough. Enough's enough. I love that guy.
Of UCSD hoops, fresh off.
That's my favorite one. The long, incredible. The Tristons. What does he say?
The copy said the Tritson.
Tritson. Oh, the Tritson.
The Tritson instead of the Tritons.
Adam, come on, man.
I did it again in a couple of the lines. We're lucky he didn't say Tritsons. Tritsons. He said one.
What's he doing, man? Right? Misspelled copy.
Fresh off their NCAA tournament appearance.
He says Tritons, spells it right in the first line. Spells it wrong in the second liner. Spells it right and wrong in the third liner.
Good idea here from SD Brothers. Paulie, pull this. Can the long be included in the crap up this year? 1,000%. Yep, done. You got it. You got it. Great idea, SD Brothers. That is brilliant.
Appearance last season. The AA tournament appearance.
Poor Adam. I was in a hurry.
But you got it done. He got it done.
It's done.
We got him done.
Sounds great.
We got him done.
Sounds great. Do you think UCSD is like, I'm rethinking this deal now with these guys? Are these guys pros or are they not?
Yeah, this is what they're running out there.
This is what they're doing here. I think you would have crushed that. You write copy, a lot of copy.
I write a lot of copy.
Live and local college basketball
Okay.
can now be heard on
spiced it up.
97.3 The Fan. We are the exclusive radio home of UCSD hoops, fresh off of their NCAA tournament appearance last season. The UCSD Tritons play here on 97.3 The Fan.
Now, Adam and the voice of God gave him the steak, but Paulie gave him the sizzle. Did you hear the sizzle
Oh,
on
yeah.
that? Woo!
Spice it up a little bit.
That actually makes me want to go watch UCSD basketball.
97.3 The
Ooh, the
Fan is
whistle.
the exclusive home of the UCSD Tritons. Listen to all
Oh,
of the
yeah,
exciting
swish.
college hoops action on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Beautiful. Really good. The copy wasn't great. I'll be honest.
No.
That was a lot for 15 seconds.
They crammed too much in.
Yeah, good.
Because we have a bunch of promos we do every night when I'm anchoring, and they're very specific. We got our 17, we got 2 16-second promos, we
You
got a
gotta write all
10-second
those?
program. I don't write them all, but I will have to make sure they time out correctly. So if there's 14 seconds of copy, now I can read it a little slower. Sometimes they'll try to jam 18 seconds of copy, and I know I've got to talk really fast to make sure I get it all in before the time runs out, because you don't have any wiggle room. It's got to be exactly
That's what she said.
the right amount of time to fit into its spot.
I could never get enough Voice of God outtakes. I just couldn't get enough of them.
I mean, I shortened this one down. You remember when our beloved Annie Heilbrunn, she was taking over for Ben for 1 week to host Padres Roundtable. You couldn't say her name.
Here's your host, Annie Heilbrunn. Heilbrunn. Here's your host, Annie Heilbrunn. Here's your host, Annie Heilbrunn. Heilbrunn.
Couldn't do it.
Here's your host, Annie Heilbrunn. Brunn. Annie Heilbrunn. Me, Jesus. Here's your host, Annie Heilbrunn.
There you go.
Just sitting
Close
in
enough.
his home studio, losing his mind.
Well, the thing that gets me is he'll send me like a 6-minute long start to finish recording with only about 45 seconds of actual content that I need. I'm like, bro, just trim it, clip it out.
No,
You're a professional.
we
Well,
want
no,
the bits.
now we want the bits.
Now we want the bits.
But he'll just.
I'm sorry you have to dig through that, but we have to have
I sit
that.
there. I'm like, oh my god. He'll be like, Andy,
Hang on, Paul. I'm
keeps
getting-
screwing up, and then a truck will drive by, and he's got his window open. He's like, gosh darn it, and much more crap.
One thing that I found to be always true, though, is once you mess up once, it gets in your
it's
head.
in your dome.
And then you could mess up 3, 4, 5 times in a row. If you don't think about it, it's really pretty easy
Yeah.
most of the time. And then you mess up once, and then whatever that word
You're
is,
toast.
it just gets in your head, and you go, I can't say this word anymore.
You're toast.
It really is
Dude,
a mental
I was going
block.
through the file he sent me for the Eno Harris one. He just kept saying it, and he didn't even register with him that he was saying it wrong.
It's time for
Like-
All Weekly segment with Eno Harris. It's time for the All Weekly segment with Eno Harris. It's
He
time.
just keeps going. He's like, that. It's Harris to me. He's like, his vision, his eyes saw Harris, and he was running with it.
He is unbelievable. He's an unbelievable. I picture what he looks like in my head. I've never seen him, but I have a picture of him. He's bald.
Oh,
in my head.
No,
I think he's bald.
I don't think so.
I think he's a bald guy.
how old is he?
55.
Okay,
Yep.
55.
55,
Bald. Tall
bald.
or short?
Short.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's tall.
No, I think he's short with a big booming voice. Do you
of
have a,
UCSD hoops fresh off.
I'm going to say over 6'2".
he's a goatee.
Okay,
Guaranteed.
I'll agree with that. He's
I-
got a goatee.
Yeah, I think he's a goatee. You have a picture of him?
I don't. I
All right.
have no idea. what
No
that's
idea.
I don't even know what his name is.
gonna look it
BOG,
up.
Voice of God. We got to get him on the show at some point. That's a good idea. Really, really well done, Paulie. Thanks for sifting through that. It
You're
was
welcome.
brilliant.
He's 17, like Nathan, voice guy Nathan.
Nathan. No, it's 7:17. Adam's coming in at 8. He's not here yet. Does that concern you?
No,
No.
we're fine.
All right, show and go.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
just be ready to roll. We've got Don't Do This coming up next. How does a basketball team get down to one player left?
Malaria. Maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing.
It's not good. Think about it.
One.
You'll realize the problem when you get down to one player in basketball. That is coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, SDFatLoss.com has extended what was their end of year sale into their New Year's sale. Get more than 20% off right now if you've got New Year's resolutions, if you want to lose weight and you want to do it quickly. If you start the program now, by the time March rolls around, so we're not even like halfway through spring training, you can already be down 10 to 20% of your body weight. That means if you weighed 200 pounds, lose 20 to 40 pounds. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days following the great strategies I got from my SDFatLoss.com counselor. You can set up a free consultation and get your counselor right now at SDFatLoss.com. The program does not require any injections with the potential side effects. It doesn't require any exercise to be successful, and you don't have to buy any meals or shakes or bars. You're eating real food from the grocery store. You get to pick. So it's stuff you like. I picked a lot of chicken and steak when I was eating with the vegetables that I liked in the right times, right portions. I lost up to a pound of fat per day. You can be the next great success story, but take advantage of the New Year's special now. Sign up, new you in the new year, by going to SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Okay, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Don't Do This brought to you by Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers, helping San Diego homeowners and contractors fix it, build it, and enjoy it. All right, I will get us started. I didn't even know this was legal, but apparently European basketball, they have certain rules, and, well, you have to have at least 2 players on the court to continue the basketball game. This was in the FIBA Champions League in Switzerland, a team from Italy called Trapani Shark. Reportedly experiencing some financial problems.
Okay.
So they showed up for their playoff game against their opponent from Israel in Bulgaria with only 5 players to start the game. 3 of them quit in the first quarter. They don't say why they quit, but they just said, you know what?
Probably because they had 5 guys.
We're out of here.
The old skeleton
they
crew.
let the game keep going because apparently you are allowed to continue playing with 2 players. So they played 2-on-5. It quickly got
terrible.
It quickly got
Mamma
out of
mia.
hand. They were down 38-5
Oh my God.
when one of the 2 players fouled out,
Oh my!
which left
God.
Trapani Shark with just the one guy. And the rules state, well, I mean, you can't use no one to inbound it to. It's like, you can't, you're kind of out of luck when you just have one.
I didn't know you had. They would let you play with 2
They
guys.
let them play with the 2 against 5.
2 on 5.
And then when they
I
were
can't
down
believe
to
they scored 5 points.
I can't either.
then when we were down to 1, they said, okay, this is over. It is officially a forfeit.
Guys,
Right,
like,
that
you
guy's
idiot,
okay,
you
so
fouled out.
That guy's pretty good, so we'll triple team him.
Yeah,
And then that guy's not very good, so we'll just double team him.
It was game 1 of what was supposed to be a 2-game match, but apparently you forfeit. They're just out in the round of 32 of the Champions League tournament. Apparently, if you don't show up, you get fined 600,000 euros.
Okay.
So the team,
Lot
even though
of
they
dough.
didn't really have a team, they said, well, we don't want to get fined 600,000.
Yeah.
We can't afford that. So we got to send someone there.
Yeah.
And apparently they sent 5 not all that enthusiastic players to the game because 3 of them quit in the middle of the first quarter.
That league sounds like it's on real solid financial
That
footing.
team, at least, is not doing so well.
I don't know if you guys saw this story. I don't think we got to it, but Lenny Dykstra was involved in a New Year's Day traffic stop in Pennsylvania. He was not the one driving the car. The guy that was driving the car was pulled over for a motor vehicle infraction. But Nails, Lenny Dykstra, former Met great, opened the glove box during questioning just after midnight. He wanted to confirm his identification, and the police observed in plain sight a container holding suspected crack cocaine / methamphetamine and a glass smoking device containing suspected drug residue. They did not field test the substances. He has been formally charged with misdemeanor possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Lenny did time in the clink for fraud, and he's had a long history of substance abuse issues. Now, his attorney says, we firmly assert the alleged narcotics did not belong to Lenny, who's currently recovering from a serious stroke. He was not knowingly in possession or under the influence of any narcotics on his person and was not taken into custody at the scene. The driver was arrested, taken into custody, not Lenny. So our team remains steadfast in our commitment to absolving Lenny of all possession charges.
So he had a stroke.
Yeah.
But then potentially still
smoking. Using, and it's sad, dude. I mean, that's hardcore.
He's definitely been one of the more troubled former MLB players throughout his post-playing career.
The that 86 Mets team, Jeff Pearlman wrote a book about them that I still have yet to read. I've read excerpts. I've listened to his podcast about it, but like you think you went hard. Anybody out there listening had those glory days in the 80s or 90s. You think you went hard. Imagine living that way and also winning a World Series. I mean, Doc Gooden, the day of the parade, missed the parade because he was still up partying. Missed it. Looked out the window and goes, "Oh God, I'm supposed to be at the parade right now, but I'm in a slum house with 40 people doing blow at 7:00 in the morning." It was like the gnarliest team of all time, the 86 Mets.
Before we get to do this, I love this story from Smash the Numbers in our chat. He says when he was in Michigan, he was at the rec center, and there was a 7-footer on the basketball team there, and just 5 of us normal guys played against that guy and one other guy. And he said those 2 guys beat the 5 of us.
Yeah, I'd say a 7-footer.
Just kept lobbing it up to him at the rim, and they couldn't stop him.
When I play against Bo and Luca and Taylor in my in front of my house on a 8-foot rim, I look like Wemby. I mean, you have no idea. I can go under, I dunk, I do reverse jams, I throw it off the backboard and slam it. Yeah. I'd say that the height advantage gives me, and the strength to box out those kids. I'm really, really good. I get delusions of grandeur when I'm playing out there. Sometimes like, maybe I will fill in with Paulie's team and run it one night. It would be the most embarrassing night of my life.
I need it.
Which brings us to a very unlikely basketball win for Do This.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
So on Monday night, the Denver Nuggets took on the Philadelphia 76ers. But it wasn't really, bless you, it wasn't really the Denver Nuggets because they were missing, Nikola Jokic, but also missing Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Jonas Valanciunas, Cameron Johnson, Christian Braun. Essentially, they were missing their best 6 players.
They're just going to play Philly 5-on-2
against Philly. I mean, they had backups. They had enough of a team to play, but, the 76ers had all their stars, Embiid, Maxey, George. They were going to just annihilate them. So much to the point that local sports anchor Scotty Gange of 9 News in Denver on Monday said, don't even bother watching this one. Nuggets are going to get destroyed. Do chores instead. Don't even bother watching the game. Well, of course, on Monday night, the Nuggets, the reserves for the Nuggets went out and shocked the 76ers with a 1-point overtime win at the buzzer to win, which led Scotty to have to eat a little bit of crow. And I'll give him the do this for at least admitting when he was wrong. Paulie, we've got some audio.
If you watched that Denver Nuggets game last night, then you witnessed their greatest and most impressive win of the season. And I'm the dummy that told you not to watch. Really, seriously, I'm sorry about that. And there are actually a lot of people I need to apologize to.
I am sorry.
All set for action here in Philadelphia.
Big,
Let's
long
meet
package
the Denver Nuggets
of
starting five.
why he was wrong and how he was wrong. And
they won that game.
They won that game without any of their players.
It was pretty wild.
It was one of the crazier wins that you're going to see in the NBA.
Like it's still regular
The-
season January
Nick
NBA
says the
basketball.
Nuggets money line. This is for a regular basketball game, plus 600, just for a regular game between
Yeah.
two NBA teams.
Wow.
You never see something like that,
Oh,
especially a
that's
team
amazing.
that's usually as good as the Nuggets
Yeah.
with so many stars.
Everyone's just hurt.
Yeah.
Man, that's tough. And they won.
Yeah,
How do you feel if you're Philly?
not good.
Cool. Very cool.
Not good.
Yeah. Hey, man. Any given Wednesday or whatever
Monday.
it was, Monday.
And that is Don't and Do This for Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Also, do this for our pal Rod. Happy birthday to one of the most vocal and best supporters of this show and this entire station. Rod is a G, and happy birthday to you, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Adam Klug is in the
Say happy
building.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Good Lord.
Sorry. Adam Klug is in the building. We've got one more segment, though, to enjoy Paul and Woods. It is coming up next.
That's
Don't
it,
go away.
huh?
That's it on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort. Now open.
Just had some big breaking news in the NFL. We will share that with you momentarily. First, though, let's get a quick check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Got an accident clearing from the Caliente off-ramp east on 905. Car and big rig involved in that. Now an accident westbound King Freeway at the northbound 125 connector. A couple cars over the right shoulder. We also have reports of a car fire in the North County, southbound 15, right before Old Highway 395. It's over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, it was Black Monday to start the week and then a little Black Tuesday. But now we're all the way to Black Thursday when Adam Schefter just tweeted that the Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross met with McDaniel this week to discuss the season. After that meeting and reflection, Ross decided to move on.
Had to know that was coming.
You didn't have to know it was coming. I would think that the immediate implication is everyone's going to assume that John Harbaugh is going to be the next coach of Miami. Now, Schefter has reported that they haven't even talked yet. There has not even been a conversation.
I saw yesterday
between Harbaugh and Miami.
I saw yesterday that they had reached out. So who knows what to believe, right? I saw somebody send out a graphic. They have spoken to John Harbaugh already. Mike McDaniel is still currently their coach, but you're now saying that Schefter says they haven't spoken yet.
That's what he says. I am somewhat skeptical that is true.
Okay.
Because if you were going to fire him, why'd you wait a few days unless you thought all of a sudden
you had a chance?
Yeah, but
no, doesn't that lead you to believe that they have spoken?
Yeah, he's definitely available, and that would lead me to believe it. But according to the reporting, that has not happened yet. But I would imagine it will happen at some point, and he's probably going to be the leading candidate to become the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Here's an interesting stat that Adam Schefter threw out as well. With the firing of Mike McDaniel, that means now 25% of NFL head coaches were fired this last week or before the end of the season and this last week. Do professional sports teams fire coaches too often?
We live in San Diego now. There's been lots of weird extenuating circumstances.
Morning, guys.
Morning, AJ. Now, I don't recall John Harbaugh saying, yeah, every time we play the Dolphins, I would look across the field and think, man, that's where I belong. Or, I'm going to retire for my mental health, right? That we've had weird extenuating circumstances here, but the answer I think is unequivocally yes, that they do fire managers, coaches, head coaches way too much. I really do. This guy was your guy and you were bought into the whole philosophy. He had a, killer presentation and he won some games. And I do think, that what's like the minimum a coach should be given to turn a franchise like Pete Carroll?
3 years.
3. Okay.
3 years.
And what sport?
Any sport, really.
I would say football gets 3 years. I would say baseball gets 5. I think you need 5 years at the helm. And also, how much of
as a manager?
As a manager, I'd say 5 years is fair. Well, no, there's more games in baseball. You get a bigger selection. Maybe 3. 3 might be the sweet spot.
I think 3 is fair for
Every
any coach
sport.
to show truly what they have. You arrive. The first year you arrive, you inherit a roster. You inherit what they already know of a previous system. You've got to uncoach some things. You got to change some things.
Culture,
some
install
coaches have
culture.
immediate success, but others, you've got to expect it might take some time to get the right personnel in for your systems.
Like Vaughn says, and I was going to make that point that so many times it's out of your hands. Like you're not given a fair shake because the GM is terrible or the ownership is like, we're not spending any money, or you draft poorly. Now the head coach in a football team has a big part of who he wants to draft. I would imagine, unless you're a Dallas Cowboy head coach, you probably get almost no say at all in that respect. But I do think, for baseball, you think about some of these managers that you look at and you're like, man, I'm sorry, dude. Like you're kind of like Kurt Suzuki this year on a 1-year deal for the Angels. He's at the mercy of Perry Manassian and Artie Moreno. Are we going to be able to get a good judge of Kurt Suzuki as a manager?
Of course not.
1-year deal?
Of course not.
No. And so I 1 year is certainly not enough. 2 years is probably not enough.
By the way, 1 year of success doesn't mean you know what
Correct.
you're doing either.
Correct, man.
Yeah. Jace Tingler did a real nice job for
He
a
did.
short 60-game season.
He did.
Real nice job.
He did.
Didn't look quite as good the next year.
Yep.
But he only got his 2 years as well. He didn't get 3.
Yeah.
In fact, there hasn't been a Padres manager who's gotten 3 since Andy Green got 3.
Did he?
I think
3
he got
full?
into his 4. I think
Okay.
it was his 4th where he got
Yep.
let go. But since
That's
then,
crazy. He's the longest tenured manager since we've been a
since
show.
Bud Black. Yep. He's
That's
the longest
insane behavior.
tenured Padres manager.
That's insane behavior. So I do think the answer is I think some teams have too quick.
But
a
there's an
trigger.
obvious reason for it. It's because it's the one thing you can do. When your team is struggling and the fans are not happy, you can't change the entire roster. But you can change the coach, and that creates at least some buzz.
It gives you the illusion that we're doing something. We are taking this seriously. He is out. He's out. I'm not. By the way, this is not me in defense of Mike McDaniel at all. Like I liked his shtick when he first got in the league. I mean, this guy's kooky, man. He's crazy. He does it differently. And then you could see how it started to wear thin. I know one Dolphins
made the playoffs his first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Obviously, didn't go as well the last couple of years, but finished 35-33. He has a winning record as a head coach, even though he had a quarterback who was injured all the time, concussed all the time, had a really bad season this year. I don't know that Mike McDaniel is not a good coach, and he's been around now, 4 years, and I don't know that he's not a good coach.
Yeah, and again, you had the offseason started for him with somebody asking Tua the question like, hey, would a fresh start be in your plans for next year? He goes, yeah, sounds dope. What am I supposed to do here? But I think when a candidate like that comes on the market in a John Harbaugh, of course, if you're ownership, you go, ooh, if we could get him, we could turn this thing around. And so it makes sense, man. Do
you fire the head coach though until you're confident that you're going to get
him?
A new coach that you want?
I think the answer to that question is if we go for John Harbaugh and don't get him, are we going to be so sad that we let Mike McDaniel go? And probably in this case, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Then they'll go and get the second best candidate that they can possibly get, who's not John Harbaugh, but they decided it was time to make a change. That the statement from Tua was very telling.
Yeah, sounds dope.
It's similar to the reporting out of Baltimore that John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson just weren't on the. I mean, that he lost the. I don't know what losing. They use that phrase a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, the manager,
the
the coach has lost the locker room, or they've lost the clubhouse.
What does that mean for like a 53-man roster?
No one loses the entire.
I don't know.
clubhouse.
I bet you they have.
I doubt it. I'm sure that they still have 10 guys who still are. No, I love this coach. He's my favorite coach I've ever
He's
had.
just
in my
hanging out
life.
with the special teams guys.
Yeah. Him, the kicker, the punter.
And I would say
the long snapper.
it's very rare that any manager or coach has complete buy-in from every single player. Remember, you are starting some guys, you are benching other guys. Inherently, some guys are going to go, yeah, this guy thinks the world of me. I think he's a great coach. I'm on the same wavelength. I love his play calls. The guy who's sitting on the bench going, I should be playing, probably is not completely bought into that coach's system. So you're never going to get everybody on your side, and you're never going to lose everybody either.
Yeah, it's tough. I do believe you can lose an entire locker room. I think you can. I think there is something that happens where everyone's like, this guy's a buffoon. Like I can't listen to his.
I would like to
anymore.
think
that's got to be the most miserable feeling in the
I
world.
would like
if you're
to
a coach.
think that anyone who's that much of a buffoon would get weeded out before they get to the point of being a manager of a Major League Baseball team or the head coach of a National Football League team. Like at some stage as an assistant, didn't you get sussed out that you weren't going to be head coaching material? But I guess there are some that fail to the top, as it were.
Yep, 100%. So again,
I think Mike McDaniel will get another job. I don't know if it'll be right now.
I bet
coordinator instantly.
Yep.
But head coaching job, I doubt he is done with his head coaching career. There's a lot of coaches out there that have gotten other jobs with losing records. He's got a winning record with the Miami Dolphins.
Yep, 100%. Happy birthday, KG the Elephant, one of our favorite YouTube members.
Happy birthday, KG the Elephant. Are you happy?
That's a great nickname, by the way.
KG the Elephant's amazing.
KG initials, I'm assuming.
Yes.
KG the Elephant.
Oh, like
KG
Cage the Elephant. KG the Elephant.
Yes, that's why.
I get it now.
Now you get it. You didn't get it before?
I didn't really think about it, no.
I know exactly.
He thought it was an elephant named KG.
I know exactly one Dolphins fan. His name's Chris Ello. He works in this radio station. He's elated, right?
Yes, he was not
a
a fan of the Mike McDaniel regime.
He doesn't seem like he would be a fan of Mike McDaniel.
He would if it was working. I think he
right?
was the first couple of years.
This guy's the best. I love his shtick. Yeah, winning cures everything, and losing hurts everything.
True.
Yeah.
I thought, they don't all have to be carbon copy, cookie cutter head coaches. There should be room in professional sports for guys who don't look necessarily the part. He did not look the part.
Ooh.
Probably of all 32 NFL coaches, he looked the least the part.
I was legitimately rooting for him when he got the job because of that. I'm like, this guy's different, and let's just see what happens.
Like that Michigan interim coach, Biff Poggi or whatever his name was, he looked the part.
Yes.
But it was not that great of a head coach. Let him go after one interim game.
Yeah.
But you see Biff Poggi. You see Biff Poggi go, football coach.
Looks the part.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel did not look the part.
His name's also Biff Poggi.
His name's the part.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. That's big news out of the NFL.
It is. So there's a lot of coaching vacancies now. A full quarter of the league is searching for a new head coach at this point. They all can't get John Harbaugh. I promise you.
Yep.
Only one will be able to land John Harbaugh. And I said it yesterday. If I'm John Harbaugh, I'm thinking about a year in broadcasting, take some time off, and wait and see what other options. But if Miami is the spot, then maybe Miami is the spot.
Yep.
Paulie with a nice picture of Biff Poggi.
Let's see Biff. Yeah, that's
a football coach.
What other profession could Biff Poggi have gone into with the look?
Driver's ed teacher. Yeah, he's a football coach.
PE coach, yeah.
That's a Michigan, like a Midwest football coach.
That's Midwest high school football coach. Also teaches
that guy.
driver's
He's not
ed.
coaching at UCLA.
No.
USC.
You need more of a face man out there.
And the funny thing, Smash the Numbers is right. Biff Poggi didn't grow up as a coach. He was a hedge fund manager made tons of money, and they
What?
decided later in life,
Oh, I want to try this.
I've got money now. I just want to get into football coaching.
Oh, God,
That's
see, I would do that. Man.
phenomenal.
If I was a hedge fund manager, I would just coach Little League full time. Be the greatest. Be the greatest. Well, Benny, we're going to miss you for a few hours.
Yes, I will catch up to you.
All right,
after
now,
the
what's
show.
your plan?
I think I need to drive. I need to get gas.
I do too. Sorry, Paulie.
And then at that point, I maybe grab a snack, and I might try to drive all the way through just to get there in time, or just a very brief stop if I get hungry in Yuma somewhere.
Now, the
But
interesting.
It's usually the Gila Bend Loves is kind of the.
Now,
I won't get there. I will not make it to Gila Bend on the tank that I've got right now.
the interesting thing is you have an Airbnb with your friend Scott that's coming out. You guys are going to golf, but you don't have it tonight.
No, not until tomorrow.
You are couch surfing tonight.
It's true.
At our Airbnb. When's the last time you slept on a couch?
Never.
Maybe he's staying with
I don't know.
Delilah. We don't even know.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Are you? All right. What if you slept with me? That would be a good bit because I'm taking the master bedroom. Sorry. You want to sleep in my bed tonight?
Sharing a bed.
Me, Ben,
Do
and
you
Woods.
sleep on the left side of the bed or the right side of the bed?
If you're standing at
Yeah.
the foot of the bed, I'm on the left side.
Like
If
you're
you're, like,
staring at the
facing the
ba-
bed?
If
If
you're
I'm facing the
looking
bed,
at
I'm
the
on-
headboard,
If I'm looking at the headboard, I'm on
Yeah,
the
you're
left
on the- okay,
side.
I'm a right. I'm on the right.
All right. I mean, hey, we like bits on this show.
I think you
Could
absolutely
we put up
need
like
to
a
do this.
pillow wall between us?
No. Those aren't pillows.
Where's your
Ben
other
and Woods
hand?
sleep in the same bed tonight at Fantasy Camp is a possibility. I don't want you sleeping on the couch. Your back will get all jacked up.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
All right, let's do it.
Jesus. Have fun, Ben.
Have fun.
No
See you soon,
spooning.
buddy.
All
Well,
right,
hey,
drive
remember,
safely.
this is our baby. Take care of it.
I will
okay?
do our best.
Thank you.
Ben and Adam coming up next here on The Fan. Halfway home on a Thursday. Welcome back. Ben and Woods, but Woods and Paul are now on the road as they head to Fantasy Camp in Arizona. We will be broadcasting live from Padres Spring Training Complex in Peoria, Arizona tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Looking forward to it. It's always a great time with terrific guests, great stories from the coaches who come back, the Padres alums who will be there. Everyone's in really good spirits. Our friend Major Garrett's going to be there, which is why I will potentially, at least for tonight, and I didn't even think about this, I just assumed I'll just crash on the couch, but Woods has invited me to sleep in his bed with him tonight in the master bedroom. And now, of course, we'll be stewing over that for the entire 6-hour drive. Let me introduce, though, our fearless leader, Adam Klug, who has stepped in for Paulie on the board and will be with us for the next couple of hours for the remainder of the show. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. It's funny. I can't tell you the last time I slept in a bed with another guy, which is, I mean, I'm sure not unusual. Growing up, my brother and I had bunk beds, but, they're totally separate levels.
Right.
But like in an actual, like, same level bed, king bed or queen bed. Now, I girls do it all the time. Like if my wife went on a trip with, they have no trouble. Oh yeah, they'll just sleep in the same bed. But us as guys, we feel more uncomfortable about it for some reason. We probably shouldn't, but now I am just like thinking of the possibility. Like, why would I sleep on a couch if there is a perfectly good, very large bed that has plenty of room for two people, and the other person just happens to be Woods?
I'm trying to think now when the last time I was. It's probably been over 10 years.
So you've done it before?
Before,
like,
yes. I literally can't think of the last time.
Yeah.
Sometime in college, God, it's been 20 years since I graduated college. Maybe it's been
20
years.
on a trip with some guys, like at a hotel or something. I can't even remember if I've
grow
ever
up, you
done
become an adult, and you get your own room.
But there's absolutely no reason. I mean, Woods smells nice. There's nothing wrong with him, and I don't know how much he snores. I don't know how much I snore at this point. I think less than I used to. Will we get a good night's sleep next to each other? I'm certainly not. You shouldn't be there should be no reason I should be as uncomfortable as I'm feeling about it right now.
This is going to dome you out the rest of the day.
Exactly.
My bet is you'll end up sleeping on the couch.
Or just like in my car at some point. Or I'll just go get a hotel room tonight.
But you are a car sleeper.
I have slept in the car. I don't sleep overnight in cars. I take naps in cars, like 15 minutes, but I don't know that I want to sleep for 6 hours. Especially, it's supposed to be very cold overnight.
What's the longest you've ever slept in the car?
Probably like 2 hours, maybe. That's probably my max of comfortable sleeping. But why would I when there is a perfectly good bed with plenty of room for two people, and it just happens to be the person that I spend hours and hours every day with on the air on the other side of that bed? We're adults. We can get through that, right?
I sure think so.
I mean,
I just don't think you're going to.
I just don't know. I just don't know. God. Would I if there's like a couch but it's really uncomfortable? You're not allowed to use Paul's buttons in that way.
I just did.
Adam, you're not allowed to use those buttons.
I think I just did.
Apparently, you can get through just about anything, as you did yesterday. Tell everybody who was not listening or watching the Gwen and Chris program what happened on yesterday's show with you, Adam.
Well, first of all, if you weren't listening or watching Gwen and Chris yesterday, you should have been, right? Live and local programming all day here on 97 through the Fan. But
I would have been, but I was anchoring the news on Channel 10, and I missed it.
I will excuse you. One of our wonderful listeners, John in Temecula, also has he has a business where he makes his own salsa, and he's delivered them to the station and given them to all the
really good
here.
salsa, by the way.
It's delicious. And
I got the medium.
I did as well. This is before the break. He dropped me off a medium, and I kind of complained about it. I said, not complained, it's delicious. I go, what is this weak stuff? I like it spicy, and I like it hot.
We know this about you.
And I think, it seemed like Tony and Chris had forgotten that I like spicy. And
what do you mean they forgot? You had the whole...
I ate the Thai 10 on their show.
Thai 10 on their show.
They're like,
we didn't even
know that you like spicy. What? Yeah, I like spicy. And so I said, I told Scravy.
There's a difference between liking it and being able to stand it, though. You actually enjoy spicy foods.
I like spicy that that I can actually eat and enjoy. I don't want my mouth to be set on fire. I want to actually eat the food, buffalo wings or whatever. But medium is not my jam. And so I told Scraby, like, I want to at least try the ghost pepper and see what it's all about. And so he reached back out to John in Temecula. He came back and he brought in the ghost pepper salsa that he makes of his own yesterday. And I ate it on the air and I easily survived it. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I didn't flinch. I didn't drink any milk.
This is a product that is made for human consumption.
It is.
It's a salsa.
And it was delicious. The flavor was very good.
You loved it. But how
did.
spicy was it? Because I don't do the ghost peppers. I don't really do like Carolina Reapers are the ones that are supposed to be insanely high on the Scoville scale. That's
right.
I think ghost pepper. So I was watching an episode of Chopped and they explained it. A jalapeno, which, some people think jalapenos are spicy. Others are like, not that bad at all.
Right.
Jalapenos can range anywhere from 100 to 100,000 on the Scoville scale.
Correct.
That's how spicy it is. A ghost pepper is usually over 1 million on that scale. So it's at least 10 times hotter than the hottest jalapeno you've ever eaten.
And I'll be honest with you, Ben, that yesterday on Braden's show, he and Frank were going through all the different Scoville levels for different variations of peppers. And I did start to get a little nervous when he talked about how many Scoville, how high on the scale the ghost pepper goes compared to jalapeno or whatever. And I started getting nervous, but when I got in there, and by the way, we were prepared. We had milk and bread, which is supposed to be better for kind of neutering.
Better than water.
Correct.
Yeah.
Water is supposed to make it worse.
Diminish the spicy after effects in your mouth.
I only plan on taking 1 spoonful of the salsa. I took 3. I didn't flinch. I didn't have any milk or bread.
You're tougher than I am when it comes to spicy foods. I know that for sure.
Matt Scraby had a little bit tougher of a time than I did.
Oh, so he tried it as well.
He did.
But
Tony and Chris wouldn't try it.
They didn't try it.
Would you try it?
Would I try it?
I think you could handle this.
Yeah,
one.
I probably could handle a little bit of it. I don't think I'd enjoy it like you did, though. In any sense,
it was tasty.
I don't think I'd enjoy it. If it's just too hot, I can't taste any of the other flavors. I just get the heat, and that's about it.
I mean, again, this didn't even come close to comparing the handful of jelly beans that I ate on the show, however long ago.
I think I'd rather do really spicy than the beans that we had.
Those were terrible.
Those were so bad.
Horrible.
Still have nightmares really about those beans.
Absolutely.
I just can't believe that they like market them to children as bad tasting as they are.
That seems inhumane.
I'd rather do the elf spaghetti again that I did during the Christmas and holiday extravaganza when I ate cold spaghetti with tomato sauce, chocolate sauce, marshmallows, maple syrup, M&Ms, and probably a couple of other things.
Pretty much everything sounds delicious.
And I had a big, giant mouthful of that, and it was horrible. It was awful, but I'd rather do that than those jelly beans again.
I couldn't agree more.
Adam, how excited are you? I think we are now 78 days away from opening day for the San Diego Padres.
It's interesting you view it in terms of opening day rather than like what comes first in the calendar, which is pitchers and catchers reporting, and we're less than 5 weeks out.
We're getting closer. Sam
Levitt will be in Peoria in less than 5 weeks.
I mean, I'll be in Peoria in less than 7 hours.
Not for spring training.
Not for spring training, but you get that feeling though that it's close when you're out there and you're reminded that we are closing in on the start of baseball season and pretty excited. I was amazed. The Padres have not had a hugely active offseason. They did re-sign Michael King. Obviously, they added Seung-Moon Song. But I was stunned yesterday when the Pittsburgh Pirates, it was the Colorado Rockies signed, who did they sign? They signed the pitcher Michael Lorenzen to a 1-year deal. And with that signing,
How dare you disrespect Ty Adcock?
And Ty Adcock. The Padres have also added Ty Adcock. But with that signing, did you know that the Boston Red Sox are now the only team in baseball that hasn't signed a free agent this offseason?
That's pretty surprising.
The Boston Red Sox.
With teams like the Marlins and Pirates.
I mean, maybe they're almost nobody free agents. Michael Lorenzen gets a 1-year, $8 million deal, but the Rockies have now done something. And it was down to just those two teams. And now it's just the Boston Red Sox who, I expected to be pretty active in the market this offseason. When you're in the AL East and you're competing against the Yankees, the Blue Jays,
The Orioles have
and now
been
the
active.
Orioles, who have been doing all sorts of things, the Red Sox are in danger of kind of being lapped by the field. They'll be the also-rans with the Tampa Bay Rays likely next season. And the Tampa Bay Rays always find a way to be good even without spending money. So I was surprised that the Red Sox are the only team that hasn't done anything.
Don't ask me why I was thinking about this, but this is how my mind works because I'm a sports fan like you. And I was thinking about the Red Sox and Alex Bregman and the fact that he opted out of his contract. He had 2 years and $40 million per year left on that deal. I mean,
he clearly wants the longer term deal.
He hit 18 home runs with 62 RBIs last year. I mean, he hasn't hit more than 30 home runs since 2019. Like, is he really getting a deal? And he's aged right now. He's older. He's 31. Is he really going to beat $40 million AAV?
As a reasonable human being, it sounds crazy to opt out, but there are very few baseball players who ever have regretted that decision in the history of free agency.
Is he a Boris guy?
I think he is. But it doesn't matter who your agent is. The opportunity to become a free agent is almost always a beneficial one when you're a Major League Baseball player that's coveted. Now, will he get $40 million a year on a longer? No, he's going to have to take less, but he's looking for the long-term security. Question is, if Kyle Tucker can't get it, is Alex Bregman going to get it right now?
That's my point.
Are we going to see a couple of more like waves of big signings, or is there going to be that, as the Dodgers call it, like waiting around the backboard for the rebound for the guys that were hoping to get the big deals and they didn't quite get it? So they'll have to accept a shorter deal, maybe similar to the one that he signed with the Boston Red Sox, another 2 or 3 year deal at a decent price, but not the long-term 6, 7, 8 year deal that they were looking for.
I mean, is it interesting at all that Alex Bregman hasn't signed, Framber Valdez hasn't signed, Kyle Tucker hasn't signed, Ranger Suarez hasn't signed, but Dylan Cease signed a massive deal, a month ago? Like, it was so far ahead of the rest of these free agents. I find that to be interesting.
It was definitely, just quickly get it done and you know where you're going. I mean, there's an advantage for players who, especially for a guy like Dylan Cease.
But the level of interest in Cease compared to Valdez and Suarez?
I don't know how much interest there was in Cease that early. I think Dylan Cease knows himself and knows that his comfort level and knowing where he's going to play, and he got a big offer, and he's like, they probably had the discussion. Should we now take this to a bunch of other teams and see if we can play with it for a few weeks and see if we can drive up and get a few $1 million more? Or shall we just say yes and go, we did pretty darn good with this. Let's not fool with it. Let's sign. You're going to Toronto. You can prepare for the entire offseason thinking, I know I'm going to be a Blue Jay. I can get ready for my spring training in Florida and everything. I think Dylan Cease, just kind of getting to know him and his thoughtful personality and just how he approaches things, he didn't want to be that guy that was waiting until the very end of spring training or the very middle of spring training to sign a deal just so he could squeeze out another $1 million or $2 million on the contract.
So you're not differentiating a high level of interest among the Blue Jays and Cease compared to the lack of level of interest between these other free agents and their teams. You're saying maybe these other free agents are more interested in delaying their decision, whereas Cease wanted to go ahead and get it over.
Yeah, I think so. And the Blue Jays, clearly, unlike almost any other team, they got so close to the brass ring, and their ownership made the decision, hey, let's go out and be aggressive. Let's see if we can win one more game next year. And they have gone out and they have made more moves than just about anybody this offseason. So they probably were the most aggressive bidder early. And maybe Dylan Cease just read that right. Okay, they're making an aggressive offer. I don't need to play the field. We're not going to go shopping around for a bunch of teams. Let's just say yes. Sometimes when you get the answer, what's that phrase? When you get the answer you want, accept it. And that was the contract he was looking for. It was the length he was looking for. They just accepted it. They didn't necessarily think we can now play with this for a month and go to the winter meetings and see if we can, raise the price by creating a bidding war. They just took it. They took a good deal when it was presented to them. They said yes, and now Dylan Cease is a Toronto Blue Jay, right? Yeah. All right, we will take a timeout. When we come back, as Woodsy mentioned, Adam has booked a special guest for us who's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, but we'll reveal who is going to be with us, a name from Adam's past, coming on to the show at 8:40 this morning. Plus, we will give away some SDSU basketball tickets for Saturday night's blackout game at Viejas Arena against Fresno State. We'll get to all of that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
So Woodsy and Paul are now on the probably 8 freeway, headed out east. I will be doing the same thing in a couple of hours. And I think about it as I'm driving out there. I like to call it 70 Mile Casino. There's that one that's just way, way out there. And I always think, why would anyone drive all the way out there to play cards when you could play at 7 Mile Casino just 7 minutes from downtown, right off the 5 freeway in Chula Vista? Because when you walk in, you're going to find a spectacular card room. You play California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, Pai Gow, Baccarat in a great environment with great dealers, comfortable chairs, windows. I love that it's open. It's light on a beautiful day like today. You're going to be able to see all the way across to Coronado, San Diego Bay, spectacular views. The patio is terrific. And you've got the benefit of Sammy's at 7 Mile. Sammy's Wood-Fired Pizza right inside 7 Mile Casino with a 24/7 players menu. You can eat anytime you want. You can have a great time. You can watch games on TV. There's a full bar. Just so many reasons to drop by with friends, go on your own. I've been by myself. I've been with people. Always have a good time at 7 Mile Casino. And again, so easy to get to. Just get off there at E. You're right on the west side of the freeway there. You're driving in about a quarter of a mile into the parking lot at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Aztecs basketball tickets here in just a minute, but bad news for San Diego State. I mean, they've been playing well. They won on Tuesday night against Boise State. Or no, they won on Saturday against Boise and then Tuesday at Nevada. But they no longer have any quad one wins anymore because, for whatever reason, Nevada dropped 4 spots last night without playing to 79, which turns the quad one win over the Wolfpack on Tuesday into a quad 2 win over the Wolfpack because the cutoff is 75 on the road. If you beat a team that's in the top 75 in a road game, that counts as a quad 1 win for your NCAA tournament metrics, but Nevada is no longer a top 75 team. And that changes, obviously, over the course of the season.
This is such a funky quirk of college sports. It's the same thing in college football, right? You beat the number 7 team in the country. They're no longer ranked 7th. They drop in the rankings.
Right.
So are they as good as they were when they beat you? Or
I mean, it makes sense. When you beat Penn State at number 2 early in the season, yeah, that looked like it was a really big win. And then by the end of the year, he goes, yeah, you probably should have beaten by more than you did beat them. So, yeah, you don't really know. The net metric, which is one they do use in the NCAA selection committee, doesn't really mean anything until the end of the season. And that's when the numbers will go in front of the committee and they'll look at the records against quad 1, quad 2 opponents. This is a snapshot. And at the moment, San Diego State, once again, does not have any of those coveted quad 1 victories that are influential in helping determine whether you can get an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament. They had one for a brief hot second on Tuesday because Nevada was 75, but now that they're 79, the Aztecs are once again without a quad 1 victory.
But if Nevada can go on a little run and win some games, then that win matters all of a sudden.
Exactly. Boise State is 64, but you beat them at home. And I think you only get a quad 1 win for like 1 through 30 at home. I think it's 1 through 30 at home, 1 through 50 for a neutral site, the Aztecs game against Arizona, and 1 through 75 for a away game. So they only will have a couple of more opportunities. Utah State is right now number 16 in the net. I don't know if they'll stay there, but if they did, the Aztecs will play them twice, and they will both be quad 1 games. Even the one at Viejas Arena would be a quad 1 game. Beyond that, New Mexico is number 45, so the road game at New Mexico would be a quad 1 game, and then if Boise State stays in the top 75, the road game at Boise at the end of the season would be a quad 1. But that's it in terms of opportunities to bolster the resume and try to get that at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, because you didn't get it done in your non-conference schedule. You did not get any impressive wins. The win over Oregon, they're 13th in the Big Ten right now. They're a 500 team. It's a power conference team that you beat, but it's not that impressive. Your losses are quality losses to Arizona and Michigan, and Baylor's pretty decent, but you didn't win any of those games. So the Aztecs, again, have a resume problem for the NCAA tournament, which is why they may have to win the conference tournament, the Mountain West Conference tournament at the end of the season.
I was going to ask you if you think they're already there where they have to win the tournament.
At this moment, yeah. Now, if they went and, swept Utah State and won at the Pit, and then they had 3 quad 1 wins at the end of the season and, went 16-2 in the Mountain West and won the conference going away, then I could say, okay, that's an at-large resume right there, even without the big non-conference wins. But if they go 14-4 and they just have 1 quad 1 win in conference, then they're going to have to win the conference tournament to likely make the NCAA tournament. If you are interested in going to see the Aztecs play, try to go for 5-0 in the Mountain West on Saturday night at Viejas Arena. Got some tickets to win right now. Let's do the 5th caller at 833-288-0973. 5th caller at 833-288-0973. Get you a pair of tickets to go see the Aztecs and the Fresno State Bulldogs. It's a blackout night at Viejas Arena, so they want fans to wear black for the game. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. You can get your own tickets by going to goaztecs.com or win them now by calling 833-288-0973. Stay on the line, though, before, Adam, you answer the phone calls. When we come back, we are scheduled to be joined by your surprise guest. Now, it's not a surprise to me, but we didn't tell Paulin Woods who was going to join us. But after the break, we will be joined by someone you worked with. How many years did you work with our guest?
6 years?
6 years. He has a very interesting resume. He was a college basketball star at Oklahoma State and then went on to become a national media host at ESPN, CBS, and other outlets, and then has given all that up to become a college basketball head coach at Wisconsin Green Bay. And if you follow sports at all, you know that we'll be talking to Adam's former host, the show he produced, The Doug Gottlieb Show. Doug Gottlieb is going to join us coming up next. Now, I am fascinated to learn more about Adam Klug through the eyes of Doug Gottlieb in our next segment.
And to note, for those who aren't totally familiar with the story, he didn't give everything up when the coaching and the radio all at once.
Not at the beginning.
He did them concurrently for 2 years. The only Division I college basketball coach with a national radio show in America for 2 years.
There's a reason for that, too. And I'm going to ask him about that. I mean, trying to juggle... I'm someone who juggles 2 jobs, but one of them is not coaching a Division I college basketball team. Feels like that would be a very difficult, to have all those balls in the air at the same time. And I'm curious to see how he did and didn't make it work. Obviously, he gave it up last month. I think it was his last show, and now he's just doing the coaching. But he's going to call us. I think he's at practice actually right now, but he's doing it for you, Adam. Your guy. I actually, you're on his Wikipedia page.
Am I really?
Yeah, if you look up Doug Gottlieb on
that.
Wikipedia, it says, and he and his longtime producer, Adam Klug, then moved to CBS Sports Radio or whatever in the bio. You actually get a mention in his Wikipedia page. You guys are that close and that related in the sports media world. So when we come back, we will be joined by Wisconsin Green Bay college basketball coach and former national radio host Doug Gottlieb is going to be with us next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Speaking of college basketball, if you're watching college hoops any single night, you can do it with Prize Picks. Watching sports already, why not turn that sports watching and your knowledge to sports into real cash on Prize Picks? All you're doing is setting lineups against the numbers. They will put stat projections up on the app. It's really easy. I can open it up in about 3 seconds and then look at all the different options I've got for the games tonight, whether it's pro basketball, college basketball, the college football playoffs that are going on tonight. You can just look at the numbers and then you pick more or less. And the more you pick, the more you can win. Big wins with lineups of 5 or 6 players, or you can go for the smaller wins with lineups with just like 2 or 3 players. It's all up to you. Play as often as you like, as little as you like. I play a couple times a week. I love it. I have a lot of fun. I know people who said 3 or 4 single lineups every single night as they try to win. It's just the way they like to play. Play your way at Prize Picks. Just make sure when you download the Prize Picks app, You use the code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Then you can kind of feel it out, sort it out how you like to play with their money, not yours, by using the code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup at Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Welcome back to the Bill House Studios. Bill Howe, we know how. Ben Higgins, Adam Klug with you, and Sports Junkie in our YouTube chat says Ben is so giddy right now. He spelled it Gitty, but then corrected himself with a little asterisk on another post, Giddy. Adam, you've been going through the misspelling typo torture chamber with Paulie for the last few minutes as well.
Correct.
I hate when I do that, like on a Twitter post or something, and I look back, or a text even, and then I have to send another text, and I hit the asterisk and then get the correct spelling, because you just have to show the other person that you're not an idiot.
You're aware you made a typo?
I'm aware that spell correct maybe, got me, and it's not the word I was intending. I'm not the idiot that text makes me look like. So then you have to send another text and a little asterisk, and that you show that you can spell the word correctly. And I do that all the time, just like Sports Junkie did. I know you know how to spell giddy, Sports Junkie. It wasn't your fault, but thank you for correcting yourself. And I am not because I'm a particularly large Wisconsin Green Bay basketball fan. In fact, I can't even remember their mascot at the moment, unfortunately. I just want to know more about the relationship between host and producer Adam Klug when we'll be joined by Doug Gottlieb coming up in just a couple of minutes. By the way, congratulations to Kevin, who won the tickets to the San Diego State basketball game on Saturday night. He called in and won during the break, so congratulations to Kevin. We'll take a little break for traffic, and then when we come back, we're going to call up Doug Gottlieb from, I believe he's at practice right now, but he's going to spend some time with us with here and his former producer, Adam Klug, on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, the roads seem to be winding down pretty nicely, and at this point, no incidents, no accidents, no surprises to report. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're going to go out to our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com, and we are joined by the head coach at Wisconsin Green Bay. You probably know him better from his many stints in the national media, national radio host, and for about 6 or 7 years, Adam Klug was his producer. Doug Gottlieb joins us right now on 97.3 The Fan. Doug, it's a pleasure to meet you. I actually met you a long time ago. I announced some of your high school basketball games way back in the day when you were at Tustin and came down to Torrey Pines, which is where I went to school. It was probably like 1992 or 3.
We didn't play at the Torrey Pines.
Was it? Maybe it was the summer tournament in Las Vegas then. I know I announced one of your games.
That would have been like, no, don't get me wrong. Like, I remember Stephon Marbury came
Shea Cotton, Stephon. I was on the mic for that game.
My senior year, I remember Stephon Marbury did. But no, we and San Diego, the only high school game I played in San Diego, we played in the state tournament, first round. We lost. My last game was against El Camino, which I don't remember
Ray
much anything
Johnson,
about that
El
game.
Camino Wildcats. Yeah, they were always a powerhouse back then as well. Obviously, you kept the basketball career going through college and then turned it into a media career. When did you first meet Adam Klug, though? Like, when was the first meeting between you guys? You remember, like, what happened? Was it a setup? Was it just
I don't remember if he was a fill-in producer or they just gave me a producer when my producer left. And I was like, who's this guy who looks like American History X, when he had the shaved head, and he hadn't ever seen either sunlight or a weight room in his life.
Adam, is that how you remember the story as well?
It seems pretty accurate.
All right, not bad. What kind of producer was he, Doug?
He's the best. Kluger's my boy. Hey, I mean, I was at my best with him because, as you know, even as he, as the PD at your station, like he's, the lesson you learn, and I've learned this now in coaching in a basketball program for a year and a half, is like you're only as good as who's with you. Your staff is everything. And Adam was the best producer I've ever had. I'm in the business essentially 25 years, 22 years nationally, 23 years nationally. Nobody like Adam, just because he loves it, he works at it, he's passionate about it. There isn't a day that goes by that you work with him that he's not coming in ready and fired off his opinion. His opinions usually aren't particularly good because they're mired in the emotion of being, a Georgia sports fan. but outside of that, he couldn't be any better.
The man loves talking sports. And I thought I loved talking sports. I mean, I got into this business. I've been doing nothing but sports TV and radio for now almost 30 years. And I thought I liked talking sports. And then I met Adam, and sometimes it just becomes even too much for me. Like, I just can't even talk about it anymore. It's just nonstop. The guy just loves sports.
He's a machine. He's an M. All right. So what's the biggest topic in America's finest city today?
The biggest topic in America's finest city is always, what are the Padres going to do next? We are a Padres town through and through. Now that the Chargers are gone, they remain the number one story. The second story is San Diego State basketball. And I know, your brother used to be an assistant on Steve Fisher's staff. He's now, they're red hot now with Stacey Terry Hudson and the women's team. They won their 7th game in a row last night. So I know you keep tabs on the program. It's been a little bit of a disappointing start. They seem to be turning things around right now. They're 4-0 in the Mountain West, but we thought this was going to be one of the best teams Dutch has had, and that included the one that made it all the way to the national championship game, and just hasn't really played out that way so far for his team.
Well, they had injuries early in the year, didn't they?
They had McGoon-Guath was never healthy, totally coming back, but they've had their full lineup most of the games. They just have not looked particularly healthy. And, he's trying to play an 11 deep rotation, trying to figure out how to get enough minutes for all the players, which is, you're a coach. You know that can be a real challenge.
Listen, like, again, people ask, like, what's the difference in my team? We were bad, or, one level of competition who we're playing. But, the shorter our bench, the better we've played, because guys know they're going to be able to play through some mistakes. But, the problem is with you have so many new pieces. So one, you got to figure out, like, all right, who's really ready right now? Who do we want to develop? And then who do we play with? Because you got to get 4 other guys. So it's a mix. And honestly, the non-conference is so hit or miss. You just are, and then the other part to it is, and I know they don't have a ton of money in comparison to the big boys at the top, but they do have some money. And then, you spend money on kids and you think, okay, well, but it's just like free agency in baseball and in football. The hit rate's not 100%. It's not even 50% in terms of what you expect. So I do think that one thing that the Aztecs are prepared for is new players, because, you talked about my brother when they first started the program there, really got it going, they did it on transfers, a ton of transfers. And then they brought in, actually, my assistant coach, Eric Sanders, played at San Diego State, played 4 years.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. I remember Eric. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the point is that they had, back then when you transfer, you sat out a year. So you were kind of part of the culture when you got there. Now, a guy gets off the plane and you give him a jersey and he's in layup lines. So it's different. But I thought that Boise State game was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Was that Saturday night? I think.
Yeah,
those
triple
games are always
overtime.
good.
Yeah.
And then if you saw Boise yesterday, they got their asses kicked at home by GCU. I kind of think that was because, like, the San Diego State game was so devastating to them, right? It takes so much out of you that the next game becomes really, really hard. You have no energy, because the energy of playing against the Aztecs is they're getting everybody's best shot. Because even though last year's team wasn't a Final Four team, now they carry around. It's very, very different now. Now San Diego State is a national brand. I laugh when people say, like, well, they're a mid-major. Like, in what world is San Diego State a mid-major? They don't have the money of USC and UCLA, but they definitely have the pedigree and the prestige. And financially, they're in a way better spot than like us. So, there's somewhere in that kind of middle area, and you gotta figure out where it goes. So, Dutch they'll be fine. They're like you said, what they do in league is what matters.
Doug Gottlieb joins us here on 97.3 The Fan. And Doug, you're the perfect person to ask about this. You mentioned a few minutes ago that San Diego State doesn't have the money to spend like other schools do. You are a former college athlete. You've been in the national media covering college sports for a long time, and now you are an active head coach. Can you describe the evolution of NIL and how it's impacted college sports from your time playing to what you deal with now as a head coach?
Well, you were with me back when everybody would talk about this stuff. And what did I say it would end up being?
They're jobs. They're professionals.
Well, they're not professionals, but it ends up being pay for play. Like, the idea of it, this is people on Twitter and people who would have no clue and people who have fantasized about it. They thought it was about Jeremy Bloom and can you be an Olympic athlete and still get sponsorship dollars? The problem is the second you okay a sponsorship dollars, the second that all these schools that wanted to pay kids or were paying kids illegally are just going to start buying them. So what's it turned into? It's turned into pay for play. But yeah, it sounds like it should be a good idea that they're professionals, but they're not, because you can't fire them. You can't fire them. We operate, at least in college sports, under a tax exempt status, right? If it becomes a job, that goes away. Everything gets increased in price, 1.5 to 2x. But yeah, it's evolved into you're just buying guys, and at my level, it's a little different. Everybody in my program gets paid something, not a ton, but something. Some guys make a good little amount of money, and we're still trying to, give them the type of experience that they want to stay with. Build a brotherhood where they feel connected to the players, connected to the coaches, connected to the community. But again, reality is it's pay for play at most places, and the education. Like last year we had the second highest team GPA. This year we have one kid in a little midterm class. If he gets an A in it, which he's trending towards it, we'll have, again, second highest team GPA in school history. But that nobody actually cares unless you win. Now all of a sudden everybody loves us because we're winning games. So it sucks. I love my 4 years in college. My opinion is that your NIL value is what you get to benefit from when you get out of school. But if you want to play in this world now, play in the big sandbox, you're going to have to find ways to raise money and pay kids, because it's become pay for play.
Speaking of jobs, Doug, until recently, you were trying to pull off two at the same time that, to me, felt almost impossible. I mean, yeah, we've seen coaches who will serve as an analyst, and on a desk, for a day or two. But you were hosting a national radio show and coaching an NCAA Division I college basketball team at the same time. What was that like? Was it more than you expected? Just kind of give us the story of trying to juggle both of those things.
I wasn't a juggle. It wasn't honestly terribly difficult. I just didn't have didn't have that much of a life, and there were some things to the program I wanted to do a little bit more of. But honestly, it wasn't just because, as Adam knows, and it evolved over time. But I was running a basketball program. I did TV games. I did radio games. I did studio. I mean, I always had 6-7 jobs, no matter what I was doing. So hold on real quick, guys. Dynamic. Got to get them stretching.
Love that.
So yeah, but my whistle was bad. That was a bad one. Let me try again. There we go. So yeah, I mean,
you're talking about multitasking.
But there's some perception elements of it. I also felt like, I wanted to be better at radio when I did it, and but mostly it's a kind of a perception game thing. None of my guys in the program, I don't think people understand what college basketball coaches do when they're not in practice. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm not in San Diego, so it doesn't take me 35, 40 minutes to get home, right? Like my brother, he lives in Torrey. I think that's the area it is. He lives pretty close to Del Mar. But
that'll be 45 minutes at least with traffic, if not more.
Yeah. It takes me 4 minutes to get to work.
Yet he doesn't have to shovel any snow off of his driveway at the end of the day, though.
45 degrees outside today, and I don't shovel snow either. But the point is, again, like my day was compacted. It actually affected probably my assistant coaches a little bit more, only in that, we practiced early, did my radio show, they do their work, then we would meet. And, sometimes we were at the office late hours. I don't care. I love the work. I love doing both. But again, the other part to it is, and Kluger knows this has been my dream my entire life. And so I don't want, whenever this thing is done, coaching is done, whether it's in 5 years or in 30 years, I don't want to go like, man, I should have stopped the radio sooner, there hasn't really been that much of a change in the couple weeks that I've been just doing coaching only, except that I think I'm annoying the crap out of all of my assistant coaches. So I'm like, now what do I do? I've watched all the film. I've made all the recruiting calls. I've made all the donor calls, donor texts, written all the letters. Like what a college basketball coach does, coaching is a very small fraction of it. And if you hire a really good staff, they do a lot of that.
Well, I hope you have time at least to celebrate the big birthday coming up next week. I just saw that. I just turned the big 50 a little while ago. So congratulations on that. And really appreciate you coming on, and a little trip down memory lane for Adam Klug here. But Doug Gottlieb, thank you so much for your time.
Hold on. Can I just,
yeah.
I don't know if Kluger lets you in on, so we used to argue about topics every single day.
I can see that.
You talk about the passion test, right? And I do have a hole in me. I try and be, and we have a great relationship. But if he ever gives you any grief, you just always remind him what the name of the show is. That's it. That was my one trump card that I always had. Was Adam would have a great idea, was super passionate. Hey, we got to talk today. We got to talk. By the way, Lamar Jackson, he got his coach fired, right? They asked him after the game,
he did, yeah.
What do you think about? He got his coach fired, right? But never forget what the name of the show is, Kluger.
Doug Gottlieb Show.
Doug Gottlieb Show. It's the Ben and Woods Show. Doug, thank you so much for your time. We got to go. Top of the hour. We'll react to that and have our biggest fan contest announcement. A Klug report as well. It's all Adam Klug all the time on this station, on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Jamul Casino Resort, now open.
With Ben and Adam Klug. And our thanks again to Doug Gottlieb, who just joined us in our last segment. Adam was his producer for many years for his national radio show. And Doug admitted at the end that you guys clashed a bit, especially on topic selection. Interesting.
I mean, that was when we clashed. I mean, yeah, that's what we're doing, right? We're figuring out what to talk about on a radio show. And I think we should be talking about this, and he thinks we should be talking about that. And so,
All right, be honest.
Like you and Woods clash, I'm sure, on that stuff.
We never clash. We are always in perfect agreement. Be honest. Who is a more difficult host to work with? Doug Gottlieb or Stephen Woods?
Is that a real question?
I'm just curious. I mean, Doug admitted, he said, I'm an a-hole sometimes. I bet Woods would probably admit that as well.
Sometimes is less than
all.
I didn't finish that sentence.
It's funny because Woods gives you such a hard time, like a legitimate hard time.
I love Woodsy so much, by the way.
I know people. There is an element of teasing, and he wouldn't do it if he didn't like you so much. But it's real. He really gives you a hard time on things because he's passionate about this job, and I think one of the things you love about him is how passionate he is. But I can speak very confidently for both him and me when I say you are a fantastic boss.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you. And I appreciate you being here for the rest of the program today. I also appreciate the Klug report we're about to get. First, though, it is time to announce today's biggest fan. If you hear your name called, you'll have 10 minutes to call us back at 833-288-0973 and qualify for our grand prize. It is a huge night in the Odyssey Suite for a Padres game. 20 tickets for you and your friends, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine sometime this season. All you have to do to sign up is register your name at 973thefan.sd.com/biggest fan. But today's first biggest fan at 9 a.m. is Nathan Russell from Oceanside. Nathan Russell, you are on the clock. You got 10 minutes to call us at 833-288-0973. Get your name into our grand prize drawing. Now, without any further ado, let's get some headlines from Adam in today's Klug Report. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Klug Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the
Klug
Report. Right. 2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed. It's the
Klug
Report on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Let's bless the Klug. Adam, take it away.
Thank you, Ben. So we've got the college football playoff resuming tonight.
We do.
Miami versus Ole Miss, the team that knocked out the Georgia Bulldogs.
So are you one of those fans who is like, I want the team that beat my team to go down in flames? Or are you one of those fans who are like, if my team's going to lose, I want them to lose to the national champion. And it shows better for my team. So then you cheer for that team going forward.
Can I say neither?
Neither. You want neither to happen.
Georgia lost. It doesn't make me feel any better that they lost to the eventual champion or the runner.
You also beat Ole Miss in the regular season.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I still have interest in the games, as we've talked about last segment with Doug. I'm a huge sports fan, so I will be watching.
Do you know what I heard? I heard Jesse Agler was going to be at the game tonight.
Really?
Did you hear that? Yes.
I tinkered with the idea. The game's in Tempe, right?
It is, yes.
Bowl.
It is the Fiesta Bowl.
So I got a little.
Heck, I could go to the game tonight if I really put my mind to
it. Maybe Woodsy. Maybe this is why you got Woods and Paul really left early. Right?
That's true. They're going to the Fiesta. I'd be so mad if they went to the Fiesta Bowl without me.
I tinkered with the idea when I got ahead of myself. I was like, well, if Georgia wins and they'll be playing.
I didn't even think about that.
5.5 hour drive.
Same town as that game tonight. I mean, we're gonna be like 2 minutes away because they played at State Farm Stadium, right? I'm gonna be like 2 minutes away from
biggest
the Fiesta
sporting
Bowl
events
tonight.
in the country tonight will be right where you guys
right
are.
where we're staying, like right there. Crazy.
Well, one of the big storylines everybody's going to be watching, obviously, we were all consumed by the whole Lane Kiffin drama and Ole Miss borrowing some of LSU's coaches to coach last round. A couple of the coaches Lane Kiffin brought back, right? He's like, you guys are not going to be coaching in the Fiesta Bowl. And their current head coach for Ole Miss, his name is Pete Golding. He was asked at his press conference yesterday if he has a message for Lane Kiffin.
Team Right? Our team had a message. They had a message about how they prepared and how they play, and that they weren't tired of playing. And I do think the message is I'm replaceable, you're replaceable, our players are replaceable. Right? I think you want to build a program to where it's heading in the right direction, and one person, one player, or anything like that's not going to derail that. There's been too much invested in that, and it's been aligned correctly that one person is not going to impact something so drastically. If it is, it's probably not built right. The only thing that was different, who's running out of the tunnel. And to be honest with you, I don't think the players give a damn who runs out of the tunnel. Right? Does it make sense? But they care about their plan. They care about getting held accountable, right? And how they're going to prepare. And they care about people that care about them. Right? And I think that's been the message our players have created. But I don't have to say to anybody else.
No, I'll be honest. I did not really hear a word he said. Did he dye his hair blonde this week? Because
is that dyed or is that how it always looks?
I don't know. He kind of had gray hair. He usually wears one of those visors,
right?
And so I've only seen him kind of on the sidelines with the Ole Miss visor, and he had like the silver hair coming out. But in that clip, it looked like he went and put a little like gold highlights in his hair.
Sure looked like it.
It didn't it though? I thought so. I mean,
he doesn't have S to say to Lane Kiffin.
I mean, he's only 41, so if he wants to, go back to a better, hair color for a big game on national television tonight when everyone's going to see him, that's okay. He's doing a great job. I mean, considering the situation he was thrown into, Pete Golding's done a fantastic job for Ole Miss.
It looks like Ole Miss made the right decision making him not just the interim coach; they named him the
they
full-time
named the whole
coach.
coach, and I bet they're very happy so far. Win or lose tonight, and I have Miami going on tonight. I think the physicality of the Hurricanes that we saw in that game against Ohio State, one of the most impressive things I've seen all season. You take Ohio State and you just manhandle them then in the fourth quarter. If they can bring that same intensity to this game, Miami's going to win, and they're going to play for the national championship against either Indiana or Oregon.
To move on to the world of college basketball, where Arizona State got smacked by BYU last night. BYU is ranked number 9 in the country, and they whooped Arizona State by 28 points. And BYU has some sort of promotion in the arena where if something specific happens, everyone in the arena gets Chick-fil-A. And after losing, Arizona State head coach Bobby Hurley, straight-faced in his opening monologue, said what he was pleased about from his team.
Can hang our hat on leaving here tonight is that I think we did stop Chick-fil-A for the students. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were able to get that done tonight. So that's wonderful.
Take a couple questions.
Take a couple questions from the media. Like he seriously is in there going, well, we stopped them from getting Chick-fil-A.
What do they have to do? Win by 30 to get Chick-fil-A? What kind of a promotion is that? They destroyed Arizona State, correct?
Yeah, 28 points. I did some searching. I couldn't find anything kind of outlining what the rules are for the promotion. They
scored 100, so it was like score 100 to get Chick-fil-A. They scored 104. They won by 28. How well does BYU need to play for their students to get Chick-fil-A? I mean, you can't do much better than that. A 28-point win over a conference opponent, that's as good as it's going to get.
Sounds like we got to do some investigating here. And then finally, Ben, this story captivated me, and this is going to be a little bit more for the YouTube audience. I'll need you to do a little play-by-play for me here. Tennis play-by-play.
Tennis.
There's a very low-level professional tournament in Nairobi, and a woman named Hahar Abdelkader entered this tournament, and somehow, some way, she won 3 points. And if you watch her play, you will think she has never played tennis before in her entire life.
This is a professional tournament. She does look like she's there for her first lesson. She's tossing her serve up and can't even make solid contact with the ball. And this is an actual professional tournament. Her opponent seems completely disinterested. Like this, she doesn't want to use her backhand. She's trying to run everything to the forehand. It literally looks like a woman taking her first tennis lesson at the local YMCA or something.
We'll tweet this out from 97.3 The Fans account.
She
just
won.
So you can see it.
She did win 3 points.
She somehow won 3 points.
Were they all double faults? Maybe by the when she couldn't get the serve in on the other side for some reason.
That had to be it. I mean,
Maybe she
It's
was
the most
nervous.
amazing video ever.
It looked like a clay court event. Like, I mean, it's like real tennis there. But now she is, she's not good.
And when she finally served one into the legal square, her opponent just rips it right past her in the return.
Who was that? Remember that Australian dance? The dance performance that she did,
The breakdancing,
the
the
breakdancing
Olympics.
in the Olympics. Yeah, think of the tennis version of that. Is what you just showed us on our YouTube stream. Like one of these things doesn't look like the rest of the professionals in their sports.
Right.
All right. Good job
That's
on the
the Klug
Klug report. We got more football talk coming up. Our football threesome. It is Thursday, and the season continues. We'll go through the postseason games. NFL, we got 5 playoff games, and I'm going to make, I think, a shockingly bold prediction in our football threesome coming up in our next segment. We'll get to all of that coming up after traffic on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Welcome back to the Bill House Studios at 97.3 The Fan. Bill Howe Plumbing. We know how. Again, we've got college football tonight in Arizona. It is Ole Miss against Miami. And then tomorrow is the Oregon-Indiana game. And then we'll have our national championship next week. But we also have 6 professional football wildcard playoff matchups. No, 6 professional football wildcard playoff matchups. Got to forget they added that 7th playoff team in each conference. And we're going to take a look at all the weekend's matchups in today's NFL threesome.
Can Ben and Woods interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
No, not that kind of threesome.
Talk dirty to me.
We're talking end arounds, the best tight ends in the world, and going all the way in this game of inches.
2 inches short, maybe less. Story of my life.
It's the NFL threesome with Ben and Woods, brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place, on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He's giving them the business.
Now, normally we start the threesome with a look at the Thursday night game, but there's no Thursday night playoff game. Now, are we carrying, Adam, any of these NFL playoff games over the weekend?
We are carrying 5 of the 6 games.
5 of the 6 games.
The one game we are not carrying will be at the same time as UCSD hoops, so we're going to be carrying the basketball game.
So we'll miss the Green Bay Chicago game
on Saturday
night. Otherwise, we will have Rams Panthers for you 1:30 on Saturday afternoon from Bank of America Stadium. We'll have a triple header for you on Sunday starting at 10 a.m. Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars, followed by the San Francisco 49ers visiting the Philadelphia Eagles, and wrapping up with the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the New England Patriots. And then we'll have Monday night playoff football for you on Monday at 5:15 with the Houston Texans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, of all those 6, stage 2 of the football threesome is which matchup, Adam, do you think is the most intriguing of Wild Card Weekend?
I hate to say it, but the one we aren't carrying. I like Packers Bears.
Okay, yeah, that's a good call. Divisional rivalry.
Right.
I think the Chicago
Packers have
story.
owned the Bears for a long time.
Caleb Williams in this story is very interesting. What did I see? Like the last time that Chicago beat Green Bay in a playoff game or something was like the 30s. I don't know. It's been a long time, but they certainly have the opportunity to do so. But odds makers actually have Green Bay as the underdog in this game, or as the favorite in this game, 1.5 points
on the road
at Soldier Field. I think,
but by your reaction, I don't think you think that that's the most interesting game.
That's not my pick.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
49ers Eagles?
No, because I don't know that the 49ers are necessarily. Well, I mean, I don't think either of those teams are going to be your Super Bowl winner. I think Buffalo Jacksonville is actually the most intriguing game of the 6. Josh Allen makes any game, I think, watchable when he's part of it. But Buffalo can't stop anybody. And Trevor Lawrence and the Jags have been playing sneakily probably the best football of just about anybody over the last month and a half of the season. I think this could be a very high-scoring game. This is the one that I think could be like the 41-38 type game.
The over-under is 51.5.
Yeah, I think this is it the high. Yeah, it's the highest over-under of the weekend. So in terms of entertainment value, it comes Sunday morning, which is usually like not the prime window for the weekend playoff games, but that's the one that I think is probably the most intriguing. I can make the argument for Chargers Patriots though. That's certainly an intriguing game. That's why they probably chose it for Sunday Night Football. But I told you that I was going to make a bold, unexpected prediction, and we always pick one game against the spread. But I'm going to go beyond that. I'll let you pick your one game. But here's my bold prediction for Wild Card Weekend. I'm going to take every underdog to either cover or win outright this week.
I was going to make a comment that there are 4 road favorites. So you got 4 home dogs.
I know, and I love home. I love
taking
home,
the points too.
I love home dogs. So you've got Carolina is obviously they're not as good as the Rams, but the Rams have not been perfect this last month, and it's a 10.5 point spread.
And the spread has moved. It was 10, and people were still taking the Rams, and now it's 10.5.
I'll take all those points, and Rams probably win, but I'll give Carolina at home a chance to at least hang with them.
I agree.
I like Chicago at home to win outright against Green Bay, even though they're the underdogs on Saturday night. Buffalo, I don't know why they're the favorites in that game. That's Josh Allen and Josh Allen alone. Jacksonville's the better team. They're the better all-around team, and Trevor Lawrence has been playing pretty much as good as Josh Allen late in the season. I don't know why they're underdogs. I got Jacksonville winning outright in that one. San Francisco is getting 4.5 with that field goal difference. I can see that being a close game. That's probably the least confident one I am about the underdog, but they can definitely keep it close. New England is 3.5 point favorites, but the Chargers, honestly, I think with Justin Herbert can absolutely keep that game close. I expect it. So I'll take that hook, that 3.5. And then finally, Pittsburgh at home getting 3. Monday Night Football at home. Mike Tomlin never loses. And Houston is the better team, but Pittsburgh absolutely can win that one at home. So give me every single underdog either to cover or win. I wonder if that's ever happened in the first round of the NFL playoffs.
And what does your weekend look like? How much of these games will you sit around and watch?
That's interesting. I'm going to play a little golf when I'm out there because they're going to be playing baseball, but I'll definitely watch the evening games both of those days, and probably the afternoon game on Sunday as well. So, yeah, the only one I probably will miss will be Buffalo Jacksonville, the one that I think is going to be really good. But you know what? You get a golf cart, you put your phone on, you can kind of watch it as you're playing anyway.
So is this a situation where like you, Paul, and Woods will go to a sports bar, or go to dinner, get some food, get some drinks, watch some football? Or I don't know that I picture those guys like that.
So their event schedule is pretty packed. They have like dinners with their teams and their coaches and stuff. I go to some of those, but I'm also going to hang out. My buddy Scott's going to come down on the weekend. We're going to play a little golf. So we'll probably go out and eat and watch some of the games on our own. But at the same time, they have TVs at the Peoria Sports Complex as well. They'll have those on to the games. I mean, everyone wants to watch football when it's on. So everyone will get to see these games, and I will definitely watch probably the majority of the football that's played all weekend long. We're certainly planning to watch tonight, dinner, watch the game, Miami and Ole Miss, and then tomorrow probably the same thing at the end of the day. So, yeah, there'll be plenty of football watching. Who's your pick, though? Your one pick, your most confident against the spread selection?
My most confident against the spread? I'll take the Jaguars. Give me a 1.5 at home.
I
playing
convinced
way better.
you. I convinced you. I just
I was already there.
Jacksonville's the outright better team. You agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No one gives Jacksonville any credit because, well, they're Jacksonville.
Right. So we both think the Bills are going to win after we both said what
I
we said, right?
Wouldn't be shocking. Yeah. Not like I'm always right or even often right on these predictions, but my logic, I feel, is sound when it comes to all these picks this weekend. And that is our football threesome on a Thursday. All right. When we come back, we will wrap things up. I want to get into some of the Padres offseason talk. It's nice to have a different voice to bounce things off with some of the moves that the Padres have or could still be making this offseason. So Adam and I can share thoughts on the San Diego Padres and what's coming up next for your team. And we can look ahead to, we got Fan Fest coming up and everything still this month. So it's a big month for the San Diego Padres. Get to all that next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Paul and Woods are on their way to Arizona. I will be joining them after the show. We will be live from Padres Fantasy Camp starting tomorrow at 6 a.m. 4 shows with all the your favorites. The only person we're going to miss so badly is Randy Jones, the commissioner. Not going to be there, but will certainly be in all of our hearts this year when we're out there. It won't quite be the same without him. He has been a fixture at every single fantasy camp. Just always making you laugh.
Shout out to his family.
Just can't think about Randy not smile in my heart. One of my favorite people, and he will be very missed. So today, if you're Padres fans and you're dying for a little off-season news, I will predict that you will see a flurry of contract signings by the San Diego Padres today. But there is a catch. It's a little bit of a wordplay by me, because today is the arbitration deadline for Major League Baseball. I think it's officially at 1 p.m., although you can kind of dot the I's and cross the T's up until 8 p.m. But if you don't sign your arbitration eligible players by this afternoon, then you have to exchange salary numbers for a potential arbitration hearing. Now, AJ Preller famously has never once gone to an arbitration hearing with one of his players in his now decade plus as general manager of the San Diego Padres. Track record is there. So I would expect most of these contracts to get done today. Although last year, Michael King's did not get done before the deadline. They did exchange numbers before, if you'll remember, agreeing to that very creative contract that ended up being like $1 million plus a $3 million bonus plus a $4 million buyout rather than the $8 million that he was looking for straight up in arbitration. But here are the names, Adam. Luis Campusano is the only one who's signed already. They've all been offered arbitration, which means they're locked in to a 1-year deal with the Padres at minimum. But Luis Campusano is the only one who's actually signed his $1 million deal. The other players who are arbitration eligible are Jason Adam, Gavin Sheets, Adrian Morejon, JP Sears, Mason Miller, who's one of the Super 2 guys. He gets early arbitration because of how much success he's had early in his career, and Freddie Fermin. So some pretty important players there. I mean, honestly, all 6 of those guys could be absolute critical members of the San Diego Padres in 2026, and they will be on the team. The question is simply how much they're going to get paid and whether those deals will get done today or whether they will have to exchange those salary figures and then have an arbitration date set for sometime in February, usually middle of the month, where you'll have that kind of next deadline looming before you actually have to go into a room and argue with their agent, and your GM or assistant GM goes in and makes the case for the salary for 2026.
The case for Jason Adam and his contract status with the Padres is super interesting, if you ask me, because obviously extremely productive when he was on the field, but suffered an injury last year that, I mean, look, they have more information than we do in terms of when they think he'll be back, but it is somewhat unclear as to when he'll be able to be on the field. But I also know he's very highly thought of, and he's a great team guy. I've been at a bunch of the off-season events, whether it's at the their holiday giving tour. Jason Adam is always there. He was at Craig Stammen's introductory press conference. He was at Michael King's press conference when he re-signed. He is a team guy and thought very highly of him.
So he's actually projected. I've got the projection numbers for what experts think each guy is going to sign for or around, and he's actually the highest number of all those Padres. You go, wait, Mason Miller's way better.
But again, projected by the experts versus what the team is willing to pay based on when he can get on the field, because we're only dealing in a 1-year sample here.
See, now you can't really. I know logically you think, well, he's probably going to miss a month or two, so you're going to pay him less. Not really how it works, because the arbitration projections are not what you think he's going to do. You're getting paid on what you have done already as a pro. And Jason Adam has been an all-star. He has been a back of the bullpen reliever, and he's going to get paid like that, whether or not he's healthy or not. Now, the Padres could say, well, you're going to be hurt. We'll only offer you $5 million. But if they do that, then Jason Adams' agent goes, well, we'll go for 7.5, and they'll likely win because, it'll be the argument will be based on what have you done for me so far, not what you expect me to do this year. So the Padres can't lowball on these estimates, or they will just lose if they ever went to a salary arbitration hearing. So the idea, if you ever actually do exchange those numbers, if you're a team, you have to be high enough where you think, okay, I could actually win this arbitration hearing, because if I make it too low, the player may go kind of extra high and still win. So you have to be careful. Usually the numbers are around $1 million apart when they do these exchanges for play. You could see like the Padres would go 6.4 and Adam would go 7.2. And, you could still have the next month then to come to an agreement somewhere likely between those numbers. But AJ Preller in general doesn't even like to get past this date. He's rarely done it. It was a surprise last year when Michael King hadn't signed at that point, but he was kind of a weird case in that, he had been converted from a reliever to a starter. So his numbers as a starter, other than the 1 year, he didn't have a whole lot of track record. He had just had some time in a Yankees bullpen. So it was like, well, you don't pay him that much, but he was so good as a starter, it made it a little more confusing. Here are the other projections for the guys that are still unsigned but have been offered contracts in arbitration. Gavin Sheets, $4.3 million. Adrian Morejon, $3.6 million. JP Sears, $3.5 million. Mason Miller, $3.4 million. And Freddie Fermin, $1.8 million. And again, it's not who you think is going to be the best guy, who's not the most important. It's a function of how much service time they have, the stats they've put together, and eventually just what the team believes they're worth and what their agent believes they're worth, and they'll come to a number somewhere around there.
But you mentioned the interesting case of Michael King from last year because he was a converted reliever to starter in terms of what he had accomplished. Couldn't you say the same thing about Freddie Fermin? He was a backup catcher with the Royals behind Salvador Perez, and he comes here, and now he's the starter.
Yes, but his number is only 1.8 because he hasn't had that much time as a starter, so he doesn't have as much leverage as a guy who's already been in the league for a while. Like JP Sears, you go, why would JP Sears make as much or more than Mason Miller or Adrian Morejon or Freddie Fermin? Well, he's been pitching for a while. He has more service time. He has more innings logged with the A's before he came in the trade. So he's simply going to get more in arbitration. That's just how the system is set up and how it's designed to work. But all of those guys will eventually get at least 1 year contracts with the San Diego Padres. The question is, does it happen today? Does it happen within the next month after the numbers are exchanged? Or will, for the first time in his general managerial tenure, AJ Preller actually have to go to an arbitration hearing? Because that's a lot of guys on the list, more than usual. I think he gets them all done
Agreed.
At some point. AJ is, doesn't seem to be the guy who's going to upset the apple cart for $100,000. Like if it's that close, feels like he wants to just get his guy in, make sure he's happy. He doesn't, because arbitration hearings have been known to create hard feelings between players and their teams. We saw that with
Trevor Bauer and with Josh
Hader. With the Milwaukee Brewers.
Corbin Burns.
Have done it a couple of times where they've gone into that hearing and they basically drag out, we like him, but he didn't do this well, and his numbers here stink, and this isn't that good, and that's why you should only pay him X amount rather than Y amount. And, sometimes guys will actually be in their own hearings with their agent. I wouldn't do it. I mean, if I had an arbitration
That's why
hearing,
you have an agent, by the way.
That's why I'd have the agent. I go, you tell me how it goes at the end. But I don't want to sit there and listen to my assistant GM go through all the reasons why they don't think I'm worth what I think I'm worth. So I wouldn't go in there. But a lot of guys do take part in those hearings, and some of them come out going, that's what you think of me? That's your opinion of what my value I bring. So, you're better off not going through the process if you can avoid it.
Especially in the case of Josh Hader, where how he was used and the stats he accumulated were dictated by the team in terms of, we're not going to have you in the ninth inning, have you accumulating saves. We're going to use you all over the place. And then we're going to tell you, well, you didn't get enough saves.
And, think about Mason Miller, who, obviously he's arguably the best reliever in the game. But is he the Padres closer this year? You could make the case that he is more valuable coming in against, the toughest batters in the seventh or eighth inning if you're facing the middle of the lineup, rather than just getting those last three outs when you have a guy like Jeremiah Estrada or Adrian Morejon could get those last outs instead. But those save numbers do end up, Mason Miller, this is his first of now, 4 years of arbitration because he's a super two. So those save numbers will factor in next year as well, and the year after that into how much of a raise he's going to get year by year in arbitration. So if the Padres say, hey, we want to use you in the seventh and eighth inning, and he goes, great, whatever the team needs, I'll go out there and he can go out and, throw 104 and strike out everybody. But at the end of the year, when he has 3 saves and they go to the arbitration hearing next year and go, well, he only had 3 saves, you like want to tear your hair out. You go, yes, because you said you needed me more in the 8th inning and I was more valuable there as opposed to just racking up meaningless saves in the 9th. But teams will do that.
But it's going to happen this year as well. Like, because you mentioned he's early ARB eligible. Like, he went from closing with the A's to not closing.
Yep, probably
with the
cost him
Padres.
some money. Probably ultimately will cost him some money. I don't think it'll be, like I said, because it's AJ Preller, I don't think he's the one who's going to hammer him over the head. Well, you didn't have that many saves, Mason Miller. I mean, wouldn't you be incensed if you heard that from your team and go, yeah, I mean, you're great, but you didn't. What happened? Where were all the saves? Like, yeah, you didn't use me in the 9th inning. You put Robert Suarez in the 9th inning.
It's almost like you would want to create some sort of rules for when and how you were used after something like that happened.
I wonder, with the CBA negotiations obviously coming up, everyone's focused on things like the salary cap or, luxury tax or however that's going to look. But arbitration rules are something that is also negotiated every time there's a new CBA. Do we even want to have arbitration anymore? Is there a better way to do that? This is what they came up with to help players who weren't eligible for free agency make some more money rather than just being told by the team, well, you're not a free agent, so we're going to pay you the minimum every single year. This is how they got around it with the arbitration system. Guys who start performing well start making more money even before they get to free agency. Will that look the same? I mean, it's been pretty much the same the last few deals. They added the Super 2s and in the last couple of CBA negotiations for players who really have good early seasons. They've added the bonus pools. That's a fairly new development. Guys who win like Rookie of the Year, and there's bonus money at the end
and incentives for teams to bring guys up
and
early.
incentive, and then they get money. Jackson Merrill made some last year, I think. Depending on where you finish in the voting, Paul Skeens has made a ton of extra money in his first couple of years from that bonus pool for first and second year players that do really well. But those all have to be negotiated in the CBA. So we'll see what that looks like after they come out on the other side of whatever happens. Starting December when they go to these CBA negotiations again.
Satan's Blowfish is asking in the chat about the difference in value for Luis Arraez between what he made in his final year of arbitration versus the free agent market. And I think it's interesting, right? Like he made was $14 million.
Yeah, I think he was right about 14, which
And-
was based on, batting championships, getting the raises. It was his last year of arbitration, which is the year you make the most.
Coming off of a batting
Now,
title.
even after a good 6 years in your last year of arbitration, most guys will then make more in free agency. Luis Arraez is a very rare case of someone who almost everybody expects to make less in free agency than he did in arbitration. So we'll see what happens. Again, we heard a couple of those whispers, but no real smoke to that Luis Arraez fire. All right, let's check traffic. We'll come back, wrap things up here with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Just one problem wrapping up our morning drive. It's collision on the West Bernardo Drive off-ramp. Southbound 15 got a couple of vehicles involved in this one. It's over to the right shoulder. Tow truck rolling up to help out with that. That again is South 15 at West Bernardo off-ramp. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All guests on Ben and Woods appear on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Padres, of course, announced yesterday that season ticket memberships for 2026 are sold out. Congratulations. Adam, I don't think that's shocking news. I think some people were surprised, but that's 4 straight years, and there's still a wait list. They still have their on-deck wait list members who want season tickets, and there aren't enough of them to go around. So business is still booming for the San Diego Padres.
I was an economics major in college. I don't remember a lot from my studies there. I remember a little bit about supply and demand, and the demand is greater than the supply here.
And I think strategically, I don't know exactly how many tickets they open up to season tickets versus, because they obviously leave tickets for single game purchases as well. And they didn't sell it every game. What did they sell? 72 of the 81 home games last year, which is incredible. But if they sold more season tickets, could they sell every ticket at Petco Park as a season ticket if they wanted to?
It's an
I
interesting
don't know.
strategy. The idea that you have people willing and ready to give you money for your product, and you're saying, nope, we're going to hold it back.
But season ticket members do get discounts on the overall pricing. So if you leave some of those single game tickets, generally those are more expensive, and the team will make more money on those single gamers than they do on the season tickets, which is why the Potters will tell you, hey, it's smart to get a season ticket package because you pay less, you get more perks and benefits, overall discounts on merchandise and concessions throughout the season. And if you even if you don't get a full 81 game package, even if you do a half season, you can share it with other people where you get, hey, team up with people at work or, neighbors in your neighborhood and go, hey, let's every third game, we'll just do one of those. So a lot of people do that system. And that's why season tickets are so popular and continue to be so.
Do you think there's a chance to sell out every game?
Yes.
All 81?
Yes. There was, why did they sell out so many games last year? I mean, they've been close, but they've been getting closer to 81 each year. 72 was a record.
They keep going up.
What was different about last year than the other years, though? Why did fans buy so many tickets? I think there's a very simple explanation. Team got off to a very good start last year. 7-0, 14-3. I mean, that you make a lot of your decisions about buying tickets early in the season on how the team is doing. They're going to sell out those early games. Everyone's excited to have baseball back. Spring is in the air. You miss it. You haven't been. You want to go and watch a game and eat some tri-tip nachos and get back to the ballpark. And then when you go and they win and they look fantastic, you make plans to go again. So I think last year's hot start inflated even more the total games that were sold out later in the season. And of course, you're in the playoff contention and probably going to the postseason. So there's the excitement that builds after the All-Star break, and you expect them to make some moves. So if they get off to a really hot start again, maybe. They do a good job of strategically scheduling the bobbleheads and the other giveaways for the nights that maybe would be harder to sell out, like a Monday or Tuesday home game against the Marlins or someone. So they get
still selling out.
Or
close to it.
Or close to it. But, they'll use those promotions effectively to sell out those games. All the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games almost all season will be completely sold out. So, yeah, it's just a question of whether those last few, like the Wednesday getaway day game against the Guardians when they come in, or I think they go to Cleveland.
Why do you hate the Guardians?
I don't hate the Guardians, but I'm thinking of an American League team that doesn't necessarily draw a lot of numbers in California. Twins coming in. Exactly. They will come in. They got one of those getaway early Wednesday games, and it's not a giveaway day. I don't know that they'll sell out every single game, but they will come darn close, and they will come close or possibly set another attendance record again at Petco Park.
But even when they don't sell out, it's just like it's an official sellout. The stadium is still packed.
It'll be packed. Every game will look packed.
It just might not be an official sellout.
And this is almost certainly the last year of Seidler ownership of the San Diego Padres. So they will get through their ownership with record numbers and with the franchise in the best shape it's really ever been in its history. And then we'll see what the new owner, whoever that is, comes in and what they do. And I would imagine if they continue to pour money into the roster, they bring exciting players, keep exciting players around, and show the desire to want to win a championship, the Padres will continue to sell out the vast majority of their games. If a new owner comes in and doesn't keep that excitement going and they decide, hey, we want to, rebuild or get, shed a couple of big contracts, I would say that Padres fans will respond accordingly. But right now, there's no reason for Padres fans not to be excited about this team in this upcoming season, and that is shown in the season ticket numbers and the other sellout. The dates coming up. So on January 28th, that's the date when on-deck waitlist members and season ticket holders can buy single game tickets. January 31st is the Padres Fan Fest at Petco Park. We will be broadcasting live. Paulie Woods and I will be out there at 10 o'clock, right, as he said. So that's the early window. You do need to claim your tickets online. They're free. And if you want to be there when we're there and find us, make sure you do the early session, because I can promise you on a Saturday that Woods and Paul are not sticking around for the afternoon session. They'll be there for the morning session. So if you want to be there, join us at 10 o'clock. And then on February 3rd, that's when the rest of the single game tickets go on sale to the general public. So those are your next off-season dates in terms of ticket acquisition for the San Diego Padres this off-season. Any thoughts in our last minute on the Atlanta sports news of the day? Trae Young, 4-time All-Star, traded by the Hawks to the Washington Wizards.
Ben, there's only one person in all of San Diego who cares about my thoughts on the Hawks trading Trae Young, and that person is sitting here in the studio with me. There's no way our audience cares about that.
I actually don't care about it either.
There's not even one.
I just asked to be polite because I know you like sports talk, and I mean Trae Young is a really good player.
I was reading all about it last night. Trust me, but that doesn't mean our audience cares.
No. Well, who are the Atlanta Falcons going to get as their new head coach? Now that John Harbaugh is probably going to the Miami Dolphins.
I got my eye on Matt LaFleur, the Packers head coach. I think there's a chance that if they lose in the first round to the Bears, he's not back. He used to be quarterbacks coach for the Falcons. His former quarterback, Matt Ryan, is about to take over president of football operations. I would love Matt LaFleur.
Don't say I didn't let you do any Atlanta sports talk. That's it for us. I will join Paulie and Woods in Arizona. We will broadcast live from the Peoria Sports Complex tomorrow at 6 a.m. Until then, have a great rest of your Thursday. From all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, this is Chris Ellison.